No. Yeah. I want to save money to open a restaurant with my own ability. I don't want your money, just keep it for yourself. If it is not achieved by your own efforts, then success is meaningless. But I lent you this money, fourth brother. After the restaurant is opened, it will also rely on your hard work to run it. I will not interfere anymore. Is this not okay? Guyu looked at him directly with a very puzzled look. I know that you are doing this for my own good and want to help me. I really appreciate your kindness. I am very happy that you have this intention, but in short, don't worry about it. He did not accept Guyu's direct help. It had nothing to do with whether it was Gu's family's money. Even if the money was not from Gu's family, he could not take it for granted. Borrowing was not okay because he could not enjoy the process of starting a business. In the original book, Su Yun's restaurant was accumulated by his own part-time job. He has moved goods at the dock, worked in restaurants and washed dishes, and worked as a small vendor selling food. His efforts were never simply relying on others. Guyu was rejected, and the reasons were so sufficient that she could not refute it, so she turned her eyes to Su-yi. Fifth brother can't refuse such temptation, right? Didn't he love painting the most? She had paved the way for his future, but he didn't want to take the smooth road. He didn't want the only chance to become famous. Fifth brother, what about you? I don't need it either, Sister Yaya. It's too late for me to become a disciple. As you said before, our family can't even afford paint and drawing paper. It's better to find something else to do to have a better future. Su-yi's smile was far-fetched. It seemed that he still couldn't forget Guyu's doubts and distrust of him when he first showed his hobby. You used to live in the quagmire with us, so you couldn't empathize with my ideals. Now you have climbed out of the quagmire and become a superior person, but you look down at me in the quagmire with a condescending attitude and tell me that you have chosen a way out for me. So your dreams are all based on your situation? You have become a superior person, so you don't think such dreams are unrealistic. You are paving the way for him in the name of doing good for him. Isn't this a kind of derogation for Su-yi? Maybe you are kind, but you really used the wrong method. Fifth brother, it's a good thing that you think so. I still say that my fifth brother is so smart, and he will be better at everything in the future.
Boom.
Guyu has completely stepped on Su-yi's minefield. She thought he really listened to her words and was complacent there, but she didn't know that she had hurt her fifth brother again. Su-yi couldn't hold back his smile. He hummed lightly, then got up and went to the toilet. Guyu didn't notice it at all, and she didn't pay much attention to Su-yi, but went to chat and laugh with Su-chun and Su-yun. By the way, I brought you a good thing this time, especially Su-won. You will definitely like it. Su-won, who was eating cakes and was suddenly named, immediately looked at her, thinking, what's the matter? And her business? Then I saw the maid Chioa holding a few pieces of familiar packaging, and came over. When I got closer, I found that it was Su-won's goat milk soap. This is the most fashionable thing on the market now, goat milk soap. You can smell the sweet scented osmanthus scent on me. I use this soap to wash clothes, and my body smells good after washing. I like the smell of sweet scented osmanthus the most. There is also the one with goat milk scent, which is also very easy to use. It is the best to wash hands. After washing, your hands will be smooth and tender. Su-won, you are in the countryside every day, and your hands will definitely become rough, so it is best to wash your hands with this. I heard that there is a soap for hair washing recently, but I didn't buy it because there are too few. She had 2 soaps in her hands, 1 flower soap, 1 dyed goat milk soap, and 1 ordinary goat milk soap. Guyu was very excited when she said it, which showed that she liked this thing very much, but when she introduced it, the 3 brothers and sisters present looked a little embarrassed. Fourth brother, what's your expression? Guyu asked when she saw him wanting to say something but hesitating. Su-yun put his hands on his thighs and rubbed them back and forth. It can be seen that he was so embarrassed that his toes could dig out a castle.
Ah, that.
Yeah, you may not know that these goat milk soaps are actually made by Wanwan. She came up with this idea and made these useful goat milk soaps and floral soaps. She also helped the family pay off the loan interest of Boss Zhang. I didn't expect you to use them too. Guyu couldn't laugh for a moment when she heard this. She became embarrassed and blushed with shame. She silently put the soap on the table, feeling that it was like a hot potato. She glanced at Soo-won, who smiled at her heartlessly, and she was so angry that she clenched her hands under her sleeves tightly. Miss Gu, you just said that you were very sorry for not buying the hair soap. I still have a few pieces in stock. I will give you 2 pieces later.
The new ones are still drying.
If you like it so much, I will keep them for you in the future, so you don't have to worry about not being able to buy them. Soo-won smiled very sincerely, and she was not afraid of making people faint on the spot. In that case, then thank you first. The words were said, and Guyu could only accept it. Unexpectedly, she came here specially today just to embarrass herself. She originally wanted to make Soo-won feel inferior, but in the end, she became the one who made her feel inferior. It was nothing, just self-humiliation. The smile on Guyu's face was really far-fetched. Soo-won had already gone back to the room to get her some soap. Fortunately, I saved a few pieces for my own use. It's better for you to come at the right time than to come early. Soo-won was very considerate and packed the soap before giving it to her. Yes, I didn't expect you to be so amazing and be able to make such a good thing. I am ashamed of myself. Guyu did not reach out to take it, but signaled to the maid Choa next to her with her eyes. Choa stepped forward and snatched the soap from Soo-won's hand. Her nails accidentally scratched a piece of skin on the back of her hand. A red mark instantly appeared on Soo-won's white hand, and faint blood was oozing out of it. Soo-won hissed, and Soo-chin came over immediately to pick up her hand to check, and Soo-yi and Soo-yeon also jumped up from their chairs. Won-won, are you okay? Soo-won shook her head. I'm fine, third brother, it's just a small problem.
Kyure's attitude was unexpected.
She had an impression of this little maid. She used to serve her. Later, she made a mistake and was fined by the original owner for a month's salary. She held a grudge against her. Soo-yi immediately ran back to the house to get medicine. Their family often worked and would hurt their hands, so the second brother bought ointment specially. How dare you kneel down? Guyu immediately scolded Choa when she saw this.
Kier knelt down reluctantly.
What are you doing? Why don't you apologize to Soo-won quickly? After all, she was your master. How could you be so ignorant of the severity of your actions? Choa was originally defending Guyu and taking the opportunity to vent her anger. She didn't expect the young lady to be so angry. Miss Soo, I was wrong. I didn't mean it. She lowered her head and twisted her fingers. If Soo-won cared about this little thing, it would be her, who is not generous. It's okay. Since it was an unintentional mistake, it's not right for me to hold on to it. But you have to serve Miss Gu on weekdays. It's better to cut your fingernails so long, so as not to accidentally hurt Miss Gu. I know. Thank you, Miss Soo, for reminding me. Choa still said reluctantly, pouting as if forcing her. Soo-yi had already taken out the ointment for Soo-won to apply. It may hurt a little, Won-won, bear with it. Fifth brother, don't be so nervous, it's not a big deal, it will heal later.
Soo-won smiled helplessly.
Seeing the concern of the fifth brother for her, she was still very happy in her heart. It's bleeding, how can it not be serious? Soo-chin echoed on the side. This scene hurt Guyu, and her face became paler. Soo-yeon saw that Soo-won was fine, so he comforted Guyu in return. Yeah, don't blame yourself, it has nothing to do with you. As he said that, he glared at Choa. Hearing this, Guyu just smiled at him awkwardly. She was on pins and needles at the moment, and she almost got up and left on the spot. Everyone sat in the yard for a while, and the atmosphere was a little awkward, until Chening Hong ran over happily. She was still outside the yard and heard her shouting. Yeah, you are back? She knew that her good sister had returned to the village, and she came to her to reminisce about the past, but Guyu did not show how happy she was. Ing-hong, long time no see, how are you? Chun-ing-hong ran over and held Guyu's hand. Guyu was a little disgusted, but it was difficult to let her go. I'm fine, what about you, are you okay in the Gu family? Of course I'm fine, my father and mother are very good to me. Guyu thought to herself, you are talking nonsense, of course my biological parents are good to me. I really envy you. You have someone to serve you every day, and you have such beautiful clothes to wear. Unlike me, I can only work in the fields every day. Recently, my parents are arranging a marriage for me. They plan to marry me off in 2 years, but I don't want to get married at all. If I want to get married, I will only marry someone I like. Chun Ing-hong said this as soon as she came. She glanced at Soo-yeon when she said the last sentence. But you are only 13 years old. In 2 years, you will be 15. You are so young to get married? My mother said that it is best for girls to get married at the age of 17 or 18. I am not like you. I am spoiled by my family wherever I go. Our family conditions are not good. I have an older brother and a younger brother. If I don't get married when I am old, I can only stay at home and eat white rice. My mother wants to marry me off so that she can exchange the betrothal gifts for my brother to marry a wife. Chun Ing-hong is also a poor person. She was born in a family that favors boys over girls. Guyu showed sympathy on her face. Others said nothing. Anyway, it was none of their business. They didn't want to interfere in other people's family affairs. Besides, Soo-won and Chun Ing-hong don't get along, so why worry about it? But at this moment, Guyu's aura of the heroine appeared. She thought about it and said directly to Chun Ing-hong, "How about this? Ing-hong, you don't want to get married anyway. I'm usually alone in the Gu mansion, and I don't have anyone familiar to talk to. Why don't you come to work with me in the future? I'll give you a monthly salary, and when you find someone you like in the future, I'll let you go at any time and marry the person you like." When Guyu said this, Chun Ing-hong's eyes lit up instantly, and then her eyes turned red. "Really, Yeya? Are you willing to save me? Of course, we are best sisters. If you are in trouble, how can I not help you?" Chun Ing-hong hugged Guyu's waist and buried her whole body in her chest. Although Guyu disguised herself well, Soo-won still saw her head tilted back. "Yeya, you are so kind. You are the kindest girl I have ever seen." Seeing this, Soo-yeon also smiled with relief. He thought that his Yeya was really kind and beautiful, which made him very happy. Soo-chun also laughed. He glanced at Soo-yi, who shrugged indifferently. "Then go back and tell your parents now that I will give you 5 taels of silver every month, then pack your things and come back to Gu Mansion with me later. I will let Cheoer go with you." Guyu asked Cheoer to follow Chun Ing-hong to her house as a witness. Cheoer looked at Chun Ing-hong and felt that her position was threatened. Although she was very reluctant, she followed. When she arrived at Gu Mansion, if she dared to ask for the young lady's merit in front of her, she would definitely find a way to deal with her. What's more, she was also a personal maid, and only 4 taels of silver a month. Why should she take 5 taels? When Chun Ing-hong's parents heard that they would give her 5 taels of monthly salary, they agreed at the time and happily helped their daughter pack clothes. Cheoer said that these tattered clothes didn't need to be taken away, and she would naturally be given maid's clothes to wear when the time came. They said they were working for the richest man's family. They were so shabby. Wouldn't it be a disgrace to the Gu family? Chun Ing-hong's family could hear that they were looked down upon.
They looked down upon them.
But because they didn't want to lose this high-paying job, they held back. Especially Chun Ing-hong's mother. Her eyes popped out, but she didn't say a single bad word. Finally, after packing for a long time, they didn't have anything to bring, so they came with a flat bag on their back. After they came back, Guyu couldn't stay any longer and prepared to leave on the pretext that it was getting late. She had lost enough face today, and she didn't want to stay in this place that suffocated her. Finally, Guyu fled away, and Soo-won was in a particularly good mood. Today's meeting with Guyu had shown obvious results, and her brothers had begun to move closer to her. Jeongyu was bored in the room for a long time. Soo-won picked out a few untouched snacks brought by Guyu, cleaned them up, and made a bowl of tea with the tea she brought, and sent it to Jeongyu. Jeongyu was sitting at the table reading a book, his upper body sitting upright, but his lower body crossed his legs, looking like a dandy. Seeing her come in, Jeongyu raised his eyebrows in dissatisfaction. "Finally you left. You still remembered me. Why does this sound so weird? What do you mean she still remembers him? You are such a big living person. How can I forget you? Come, try it. The snacks of Lefang's High are delicious." She brought him fresh flour cakes and osmanthus cakes. Jeongyu took a look and didn't touch the snacks, just picked up the tea and took a sip. He hadn't had tea in the Su family for so long, and suddenly, he had a sip of good tea. He was very satisfied at the moment. The best rain front Long Jing, your family still has such a wealthy relative? He couldn't help but joked. Not relatives, how can I say it? Anyway, it's a big pot of dog blood. Su-won didn't know how to explain to him. Her and Guyu's story can only be described as a dog blood. When she said that, Jongyu suddenly became very interested in their story, mainly Su-won's story. Tell me, I'm willing to listen. You want to hear it, right? Okay. Su-won simply sat down and chatted with him. After telling him about her and Guyu being swapped since childhood, Jongyu's brows were almost twisted into a ball. It was really bloody. All the stories in his aunt's storybooks were like this.
Now you know, right?
Jongyu nodded and said, yeah, I understand. This matter was a mess, but he had heard some of their conversation in the yard just now. What should he say about this Miss Gu? Although he hadn't seen her in person, he had a hunch that they were not of the same kind. If he met her in the future, he would continue to hide. Su-won didn't expect him to say anything. Anyway, he was curious, so she told him. Jongyu had been sitting in the room for so long that he was really a little hungry. He ate a few pieces of cake with tea. It was a bit choking, not as delicious as shakima. Eat it, help with the work when you're full, and remember to bring out the bowl. Su-won didn't stay any longer, and was going to knead the dough with his fourth brother to make shakima so that he could sell it tomorrow. Guyu's sudden attack delayed him for a while, so he had to hurry up to work. She went to knead the dough and cut the noodles with Su-yun first, while everyone watched the fire, boiled sugar, and cut the noodles into pieces before packaging. The first time she went to sell them, she made half of them first. 30 kilograms of flour actually produced 222 bags of shakima. Jongyu continued to help light the fire. After the last practice, he was now the master of watching the fire. Su-won ordered to increase or decrease the size at any time, and he could control it. Okay, Jongyu, you are getting more and more skilled now. Su-won joked with him. Thank you for the compliment. He actually agreed very naturally. It seems that he has become familiar with everyone during this period of time. The almond oil used for frying noodles can no longer be used to make soap. Although it is not delicious for cooking, it must be eaten up in accordance with the principle of not wasting. Another thing is that in order to ensure that the food is absolutely clean, every time the oil is used up, new oil must be used for frying next time. With more people, it will be faster to make, and after nightfall, only packaging is left. Su-won has already made the distribution. Tomorrow morning, Su-chun and Su-yun will split into 2 groups, 1 going south and 2 going north. Each person will take 60 packs of shakima to sell. Su-won and Jongyu will take 100 packs and take them directly to the county market. There are many people in the county, so the demand is greater, so they will take more. Everyone has no objection and will do as Su-won said. But there is only 1 scale at home, and we have to borrow 2 scales. 1, aren't there 2 more pieces? I'll take 1 to Jiang the hunter, first to thank him for lending us a horse last time, and second to borrow a scale from him. It's not good to go empty-handed. Take another 1 to the village chief's house, and ask him for another 1. What do you think? Su-chun was thinking about his master, and was looking for an excuse to send him cakes. Jongyu heard that there was someone with the surname Jiang in the village, and his brows frowned slightly. Su-won saw through it, but didn't say anything. She went along with his wishes. As for the village chief's house, they went there with things, so it didn't count as owing a favor. Okay, whatever you say. Third brother, be careful. It's too dark, be careful. Okay, I got it. Su-chun agreed with a smile. After he went out, Jongyu asked the question in his heart. Is there anyone with the surname Jiang in your village? Su-yun heard this and immediately explained. Yes, there was a hunter in our village 10 years ago. He was a good hunter, but unfortunately, he was a bachelor and also surnamed Jiang. He thought Jongyu was just curious about someone with the same surname as him. Jongyu understood, and his eyebrows were already considering. Su-won knew everything, but she didn't say anything, so let everything go naturally. It's not good for her to interfere too much. After working until night, everyone was hungry, and Su-yun started to cook again. He stewed half of the rooster into soup, fried it, and got some pickled meat. When you are hungry, everything tastes delicious, and the steaming cage was scraped clean. At night, everyone went to sleep. Only Soo-won was still working with a lamp. She also had to sew a mask for Jong-yu, stuffing it with cotton so that it wouldn't feel uncomfortable against her face. She placed it next to the hibiscus sachet overnight, and the next morning the mask was stained with the scent of hibiscus. Jong-yu was quite surprised when he received it, because the stitches of the mask sewed by Soo-won were very neat. The most important thing was the faint scent of hibiscus on it, which made him particularly like it. Once this black cloth mask was put on, only a chin and a mouth were exposed. Good craftsmanship.
Jong-yu praised.
I'm glad you like it. When we get to the county, I'll take some time to go and have a look and buy some materials to make you a better one. This one is too sloppy. Soo-won was still not satisfied. She was a person who pursued perfection. Are you so good to me? Jong-yu asked with an interested smile. For the sake of your help. Soo-won answered very naturally. Jong-yu was in a good mood, and the expression between his eyebrows could not be hidden. Soo-chan was about to leave, and he became more and more nervous, afraid that he would mess up. After all, it was his first time to go out and do business on his own. Last night he told his master about this. The master praised their family for having a good sister who would help them grow up. The master also said that he should indeed experience more. His personality was very dull. If a person wanted to achieve something, he should know how to socialize outside and not show his timidity. Others would naturally look up to your demeanor, so diplomacy was also a difficulty that must be overcome. The two brothers Soo-yeon and Soo-yi were very calm, and Soo-yeon looked very excited. Soo-won prepared a kettle for both sides so that they could drink on the way. She saw that the third brother was very nervous, so she went to comfort him. Third brother, just let it go. It doesn't matter whether you make money or not. As long as you take this step, it's good. She could understand the tension of social phobia. Soo-chan felt a little relieved when he saw her comforting him. He had been brainwashing himself in his heart. As long as others asked, he could just say it normally and he didn't have to shout. After breakfast, everyone set off separately. The three brothers had already left. They had to hurry on their way, so they couldn't delay. Soo-won saw that Jong-yu hadn't put on the mask yet, so she urged him. Jong-yu, hurry up, we're leaving, put on the mask. Most people in the village had never seen Jong-yu, so the women who had seen Jong-yu praised his appearance as stunning, the kind that was in heaven and on earth. Jong-yu held the mask she made for him in his hand, smiled at her meaningfully, and then handed it to her. Can you help me tie it on, okay? When he made this request, his peach blossom eyes looked straight at him. Maybe he felt that these eyes looked too affectionately. Soo-won couldn't resist it, and didn't dare to look directly at him, which made her a little embarrassed in the end. You can tie it yourself. Soo-won avoided his gaze. Her voice was small, and her ears were stained with a layer of light pink. Although her soul was already in her 20s, she had never been in love, nor had she been in such close contact with such a good-looking man, and her heart was still very pure. Seeing that she was shy, Jong-yu felt better. Just help me, he deliberately dragged out the tone, so that the words sounded a bit like a spoiled child. No, buddy, you turned into a little puppy in a second? What should I do? Soo-won's heart was beating so fast, and she accepted his request somewhat reluctantly. Holding the mask, she moved closer to him. Because of his height, Jong-yu bent down consciously. From a third-party perspective, it felt like an older brother teasing the little girl next door. There was a very obvious smile on the corner of his mouth. He moved his face down, and Soo-won subconsciously leaned back. When he helped him put on the mask, his eyes did not move for a moment, and Soo-won felt that her heart was twitching. She raised her hand to cover his eyes and pressed the mask, which had not yet been tied, on his face. Close your eyes and don't look at me. She panicked. She was really panicked. Jong-yu couldn't help but chuckle, and the tone sounded very pleasant. Okay, I won't look at you. Soo-won moved her hand away, making sure he closed his eyes, and then quickly helped him tie the belt. She thought, this man is poisonous. Why is he flirting with me for no reason? Doesn't he know what kind of monster he is? Okay, let's go. There will be a market this year, and there will be no seats if there are too many people. Today is the market day, and many people in the village must be going to the county, so they have to hurry to grab a seat. 100 portions of shikima have been packaged and placed in the basket, 50 on each side. Jiang Yu was wearing short country trousers, and today his hair was in a high ponytail, giving him a youthful look. With his temperament, it was a bit incongruous to carry a load on his shoulders, as he looked too much like a young man in distress. But he seemed to be quite relaxed and was able to keep up with Su Wan, who was holding his own scale and jogging in front, thus occupying two positions. Because their things took up a lot of space, and today was the same, they had to pay a few more coins according to the rules. There were already a few women sitting on the ox cart, and when they saw Su Wan coming, they greeted him enthusiastically. "Su's daughter, are you going to the city to sell soap again today?" "No, I made some snacks to sell. It's a good opportunity for everyone to have a taste. The New Year is coming soon, and my family has to buy candies to entertain guests. If you like, I can give you a discount since we're from the same village." Su Wan sat on the ox cart. As soon as Jiang Yu put the things away, Su Wan took out a bag of shakima and opened it. She never missed any opportunity to make money and do favors. If she had good relationships with the villagers, she would have fewer trivial and dirty things. Including Old Hong, there were 3 other aunties on the car besides her and Jiang Yu. "What snacks? Let's take a look." These aunties became interested, mainly because they were attracted by the free tasting. "Shakima, come, each of you try one, Grandpa Hong, you try it too." Old Hong was already familiar with Su Wan and naturally took her candy and stuffed it into his mouth, eating half of it in one bite. After eating, he showed a pleasant surprise. He had bad teeth, but the shakima was not hard, but soft, sweet, fragrant, and delicious. "Well, Su girl, did you make this yourself?" "Yes, Grandpa Hong. Is it delicious?" "It tastes very good, better than the snacks sold in the county. You have good cooking skills. How much does this pastry cost?" Grandpa Hong has a grandson at home, and he likes to eat sweet things, so he is thinking about buying some for his grandson. "I sell it for 15 cents a bag in the market. We are all from the same village. I will charge you 12 cents to protect my capital." Su Wan started to promote it, especially these aunts. When they heard that they were given a discount of 3 cents, they couldn't suppress their desire to take advantage. In fact, even if it was 12 cents, Su Wan would still make some money. After a pound of flour was distributed, she could make several portions, and her portion was not too big, mainly because the oil paper was not big enough.
So cheap?
Lefeng's High S osmanthus cake also costs 15 won, but it's not as delicious as yours. "How about this? You give me one first." "I want one too." After tasting the taste, the 3 aunts began to take out their wallets. Su Wan started collecting money while sitting on the ox cart. His focus was on the cakes, so they didn't have the energy to gossip about Jiang Yu for a while. "Aunties, go back to the village and talk to everyone. As long as you are from our village, it's 12 won to buy cakes from me." Okay, what's your name? Sha something horse?"
Chima.
Su Wan explained to them. Jiang Yu watched Su Wan being so popular, her little mouth chattering, and she started to make money in just a few words. He thought she really had a talent in this area and was very good at controlling people's hearts. After everyone talked about Sha Chi Ma, they began to pay attention to Jiang Yu again. Seeing that he was wearing a mask, they were very curious about his appearance. The main reason was that these aunts were far away from the Su family on weekdays, and they could only hear about many gossips from others. "I heard that a cousin of the Su family came to the Su family. He was so handsome that he came to propose marriage to Su Wan and cultivate their relationship." "Su family girl, have you settled your affairs?" What's the matter?" Su Wan was still thinking about it. After a while, she went to the county and took out 2 portions of shikima and cut them into small pieces for free tasting. Then she heard the auntie closest to her ask her this. "It's about you and your cousin. People in the village say that this is the marriage arranged by your parents for you." Although some people like to joke with Jiang Yu and say that they want to introduce a girl to him, no one jokes about it after they know that he and Su Wan are a couple. After all, Su Wan is also a member of the gossip group by the Yengao Creek. They still give him face. Su Wan has taken a lot of advantages from them. For example, goat milk soap is so popular and expensive in the county, but they buy it very cheaply. Suwon felt a group of black lines falling from her forehead after hearing what they said so outrageously. She hurriedly explained, "It's a misunderstanding, a misunderstanding. My cousin just came to play with my brothers and help us with some things. I'm still young. Why would you get engaged? You're not young anymore. It's time to get engaged at the age of 13. You should get along well for 2 years and temper each other. Only then can you live more smoothly after getting married." In ancient times, it was almost time. Many country girls got married at the age of 15 or 16, and those who were 18 or 19 were called old girls. "I really misunderstood, Aunt Zhao. It's really not true." Suwon was eager to explain. Jiangyu was like nothing had happened. He just picked up a dogtail grass from the roadside and put it in his mouth. He put one foot on the car and one foot down. He looked like a ruffian and seemed to be in a particularly good mood. He didn't help to explain and automatically ignored Suwon's look for help. Suwon was so angry that she quietly twisted his arm with her hand. The force was neither too strong nor too weak, which was considered to vent her anger. Jiangyu did not even frown, and the corners of his mouth were slightly raised. The wind blew his hair across Suwon's face from time to time, which made her feel itchy. She irritably brushed it away with her hands. Suwon couldn't explain it clearly, so she simply gave up. Seeing the two of them like this, Aunt Zhao laughed at how good they were at flirting as young people, and she could never go back to her youth. So, Suwon listened to them talking about the benefits of getting married early along the way, even talking about children. Old Hong was driving the car in the front, listening and laughing, and the atmosphere in the car was quite good. After finally arriving at the county town, Jiangyu carried the things on his shoulders. The dogtail grass had been thrown away by him. When he was rushing to the market, Suwon asked him why he didn't explain. Jiangyu took a matter of course. "This misunderstanding is very good. In the future, they will never always want to introduce us to the girl and the man and be happy. If we were not together in the future, I was abandoned by you. Before not together, others would only say that she was abandoned."
Well,
Jiang Yuya was quite fast. He didn't hesitate at all, and his tone was relaxed, as if this was just a word for him. But Suwon was stunned in his heart, knowing that he was joking, but she still blushed.
You
said that. How can you just say it casually?"
she stuttered.
Seeing that she couldn't help teasing, Jiang Yu's face turned red with anger, and he quickly stopped. "Don't worry, your parents haven't admitted it personally, and in the end, they can only spread it themselves. You have explained it, and I don't think you will stay in Yangao for a long time. You won't be able to hear what they say in the future." Anyway, he didn't intend to explain, so Suwon gave up. Thinking about it carefully, they didn't admit it to the public, and it was just their own guess. "What do you mean I won't stay in Yangao for a long time? What do you mean?" Looking back, Suwon tasted that there was something wrong with this. But Jiangyu didn't intend to explain. Nothing, intuition. In his opinion, Su Jing wanted to take the imperial examination. With his ability, it was only a matter of time for him to enter the official career. Su Mu was also a skilled doctor and very talented. He still wanted to repay him and let him go to a broader world. Su Chun is a martial artist. His martial art skills are not low, but he hides his clumsiness. He is also a martial artist. They sleep together every night, and he has seen it long ago, but he doesn't know who his master is. And Suyin wants to open a restaurant. With his cleverness, he can find a master to teach him, and with his unique secret recipe, it is just a matter of time before he can make a name for himself. And Su Yi is a real talent. He has no foundation and no teacher to teach him, but he can draw at such a level. Jiang Yu saw it with his own eyes and was really convinced. Suwon's business mind is even more powerful. He knows how to grasp people's hearts, find opportunities, and is very good at doing favors. It is only a matter of time before he becomes rich. How can this family of dragons and phoenixes stay in such a small village for a lifetime? Jiang Yu, who grew up in a pile of smart people, is also very accurate in judging people. He himself is a smart person. Suwon didn't continue to ask him, because when she arrived at the market, She grabbed a stall with a good location and put out the shikima with Jiangyu. She took out 2 portions of shikima, cut them into small pieces, and put them out for free tasting. Just now, 4 portions were sold on the bus, 1 portion was eaten, and now 2 more portions are taken out, leaving 93 portions. When this thing was put out, many people came to watch the fun because they had never seen it before, so they were curious. What is this? We make our own pastry at home, called shakima, clean and hygienic, soft, glutinous, sweet, and with plenty of small ingredients. Anyone interested can try it. If it tastes good, buy it back for the elderly and children to try, and you can also bring it to relatives. Seeing the business people coming, Suwon started to promote it very familiarly and gave everyone the small pieces of shakima that he had just cut to taste. There were many people in the market, and people from all over the country came to this market, and soon it was surrounded by people. After eating, everyone said it was delicious and started to ask the price. 15 cents a portion. You won't suffer a loss, you won't be cheated, and it's fair to everyone. Suwon took out the scale, put the shikima on it, and weighed several portions for everyone to see. The weights were all about the same. This is why she took out the scale, and the main point is sincerity. When everyone sees that there is no deviation, they will be more willing to buy, and there will be no saying that the price is the same, but the quantity is different. 15 cents is a bit expensive. Can it be cheaper, little girl? In the crowd, some people felt that the things were expensive and wanted to lower the price, but how could Suwon lower it just like that? This is the bottom line, and it must be maintained. Once it is agreed to for the first time, there will be a second time. Big sister, this is not expensive. My snacks are better than those on the market, and the portions are larger than them. It is very cost-effective. And you can see that the ingredients I use are very expensive. You have to let us earn a little, right? Suwon did not specify that it was Lefeng's high when she was talking about the market, so it was not considered to offend others. Those who are richer think the price is pretty good, so they pay more quickly. Give me 2 first. I want 1 too. Everyone started to pay. They had tasted it and thought it tasted good and cost-effective before buying it. There were also some slaves who came out to buy from the landlords. Most of them worked in the kitchen. When they saw new snacks on the market, they would buy 2 to take back to their masters to try them out, so as to please them and get rewards. They bought several at a time. With a rich master, they were generous. Everyone was in a mood to watch the fun. Seeing so many people gathered here at Suwon, many people came to join in the fun. Seeing that everyone bought, some people followed suit. They spent money inexplicably while watching the fun. This is just like watching live broadcasts in modern times. You spend money while watching. Suwon guessed it very accurately. The closer it is to the end of the year, the more people will go to the market on the street. This is not a big deal. After a while, there will be more. They will not come every day. There are 4 markets in a month anyway. This is the first one. Just come on market days. She was very busy here, so she asked Jiangyu to be in charge of collecting the money. He must count it clearly and not do a loss-making business. Jiangyu was clear-headed and was very serious when collecting money. He would let Suwon give it to the customers only after counting the money for the 2 portions. However, in less than an hour, the cakes they brought were almost sold out. The next market will be in 7 days, and I don't know what the situation is with the 3rd brother and the others. There are only about 30 portions left now, and there are not as many people as at the beginning, so just sell them slowly. Jiangyu was not busy anymore, so he told Suwon that he was leaving for a while.
Van, I'm sorry.
He didn't say the reason. He knew Suwon wouldn't ask more questions. Sure enough, Suwon nodded and didn't ask anything. I'll be back soon. Wait for me. Jiangyu was still a little hesitant. He left her here alone, fearing that she would get into trouble. Go, I'm fine. Suwon knew that he still had subordinates in Qinghe County, and he should go to make arrangements to report his safety. After all, he had disappeared for more than 2 months. The people of Qinghe County are all very simple and enthusiastic. There is a good official in charge here, so the folk customs here are simple and honest, and the public security is also very good. Because the lives of the people are generally acceptable, there are not many people who do bad things. After Jiangyu left, several waves of people came one after another and sold all the remaining shikima, leaving none. Suwon stayed there and waited for him obediently. Perhaps it would not be long before Jiangyu would leave. He could not stay in this small county forever. 2 more portions were cut for tasting before. 90 portions of shikima were sold for 13 taels of silver and 50 coins. Su Chun went to the nearest village of Yanguoo, which is next to Yanguoo. This village is much larger than their village and has more people. He walked for half an hour to get here. On the way, many people looked at his unfamiliar face. He was tall and handsome. In the surrounding area, there are always many families with daughters of marriageable age. When they see such a boy, they can't help but pay attention to him. Su Chun was still a little embarrassed and found a crowded place to stop. He put the things there and took out the shakima that he had prepared for tasting. Everyone was looking at him, pointing and whispering, which made the socially anxious person even more suffocated. But thinking of what his master said, and thinking of Wanwan's expectations of him, he felt that he couldn't hold her back. If the things couldn't be sold later, he would be embarrassed to go back. So he tried to start shouting. Selling cakes. His voice was a little low, and his face turned red when he said this. If there hadn't been a curious person who came up to watch the fun, he would have been even more embarrassed. "Young man, what are you talking about?" the old lady asked him, and when she saw someone coming, Su Chun quickly answered while the iron was hot. I'm here to sell cakes." "What? What to sell?" The old lady put her ear close to ask. Su Chun's voice just now was not small, so it made no sense that he couldn't hear it. He was lucky, and he ran into a hard-of-hearing old lady as soon as he arrived. So, he could only shout even louder. "Auntie, buy some cakes, they are delicious. Try some?" he said seriously, handing over the sample. The old lady heard it and reached out to eat it. At this time, other people also gathered around and tried the shakima. There were quite a lot of people chatting and gossiping here. Now, they didn't have to go to the fields to work, so they gathered together to chat. In a moment, 2 samples of shakima were eaten, and everyone showed a surprised expression. "This cake is delicious, sweet and soft, and there are dried red dates and raisins in it." Su Chun watched them eat everything, but no one asked the price. Just when he was so anxious that he didn't know how to start, someone asked, "Young man, what's the name of your cake? How do you sell it?" Su Chun saw hope and quickly answered, "My cake is called shakima, made at home, very clean, 15 cents a piece, very cost-effective. It's the new year. Everyone can buy some to take home for the elderly and children to eat, or take it to visit relatives. Everyone can try it." He was like reciting a book, pouring out the words Suwon taught him like beans, speaking a little fast, sweat on his forehead, and his face was red from head to tail. Everyone laughed at the young man, and someone joked, "Oh, which village is this young man so shy? Look, his face is red."
"Auntie, I'm from Yanguoo. Suchenan serdanisli."
Everyone laughed, laughing at his honesty. "So you're from Yanguoo. So it's close. Are you engaged? There are many hardworking and pretty girls in our village. Do you want to meet them?" Faced with such a handsome young man, who looked healthy, the standard for rural people to choose a son-in-law was like this: hardworking, handsome, and motivated. Su Chun also ran a small business, which of course made people excited. Su Chun was almost embarrassed to death. How could selling a shikima be related to the matter of engagement? Okay, don't tease the young man. If you like him, just ask around and ask the matchmaker, right? An old man helped to solve the problem, and Su Chun felt as if he had been pardoned. 15 cents. Can it be less, young man? The ladies began to bargain. "Auntie, no bargaining. We have to make back our costs. The cakes in the county are also priced at this price, and the portion is not as large as ours." This was also taught by Suwon. She had predicted everyone's predictions. Everyone thought about it after hearing this. They had just eaten it. It tasted really good and sweet. They were willing to put in more ingredients. Moreover, they were willing to let you try it before buying it. Unlike in the county, there was no such thing as tasting. There were still many people willing to pay, and everyone gave Su Chun face. Most of them took one back. Some went back and told their neighbors next door. After going back and forth, They actually sold more than 40 copies at one time. The first time was unfamiliar, the second time was familiar, and there were more than 10 copies left. He sat there for a while, and then went to other places to wander around, and they were actually sold out. The main thing is that the food is delicious and cost-effective, so there is no need to worry about selling it. Soo-yeon's side was very smooth. He was also a good talker, so naturally, he didn't worry about having no business. Back to Soo-won's side. She finished buying things and waited for Jong-yu for half an hour before she saw him come back. However, after more than half an hour, this guy had changed his clothes. He wore a purple robe and took off his coarse linen clothes and returned to his elegant appearance. But he was considered low-key. There was no decoration on his waist. The headband on his head was replaced with the most ordinary wooden hairpin. The fabric of his clothes was not the same level as the one he wore on the day he rescued him. The price was much lower. He also wore a mask made by Soo-won on his face. He was carrying a bag on his back. He should still plan to continue living in the Soo family. When he walked over from a distance, Soo-won didn't recognize him, if it weren't for the mask. Jong-yu saw that her eyes were following him without blinking, and he found it very interesting. "Why, you don't recognize me after changing your clothes? Where did you get the money?" Soo-won asked knowingly to see what he would say. "I still have a bead on me that is worth some money, so I took it to the pawn shop. I have to find a way to pay the consultation fee and medicine fee owed to Dr. Soo, right? And during this period of time, I have been eating and drinking for free at your house, so I have to pay some money to justify it." His fabrication was quite convincing. She knew what he had on the day he rescued him, right? Okay, let you pretend. Soo-won won't expose her, and she can't expose her. If she knows everything, it will be very suspicious. Sometimes you have to be a fool. Okay, I've sold everything too. Let's go buy some things and go back. Soo-won planned to buy dozens of kilograms of flour and sugar to prepare for the stock. Well, I have to go to see Dr. Soo again, and I will give him the consultation fee in person. Jong-yu has prepared the silver, and he wants to give it to Soo-moo in person to express his gratitude. Just now, he had someone write a letter to invite people to come and pick up the treasure. Soo-won nodded, and the two of them started to pack up. At this time, another middle-aged man in a silver-gray robe and a beard came in a hurry. He called Soo-won breathlessly. "Girl, wait a minute." Soo-won turned around and looked at the breathless middle-aged man in confusion.
Who are you?
"It's like this, I want to order a batch of cakes from you." The man came up and explained his purpose, without any hesitation. Soo-won recognized the uncle. He was the one who just came to sell cakes and bought 3 at a time. Did the business come to him so quickly? Well, let's go to a quieter place to talk. It's too noisy here. The uncle continued to suggest. This is a market, and the voices are noisy. Soo-won and Jong-yu looked at each other, not knowing whether to agree or not. Jong-yu squinted his eyes and looked at the man. After confirming that he didn't know martial arts, he nodded to Soo-won and signaled that she could go. Soo-won was also cautious. With Jong-yu by her side, she nodded and agreed. He is the second male lead, with strong martial arts skills. He can easily deal with some minions, right? So, the two followed the uncle to a quiet tea house, ordered a pot of tea, and started to talk. It's like this. I'm the housekeeper of Mr. Hu's mansion. Our Mr. Hu will be 50 years old in 5 days. We will have a banquet to entertain guests. Happy events must have candies and snacks to entertain guests. I just bought your cakes today. After eating them, our Mr. Hu is very satisfied. He plans to order your cakes for the birthday banquet. The snacks from Lefangshai are boring after eating too much. Mr. Hu wants to make some fresh cakes to eat. Look, Mr. Hua is very satisfied with the cakes you made, so he asked me to come to you to order 150 copies and send them to our mansion in 4 days. Mr. Hua's 50th birthday, when guests from all directions come to celebrate. Most of them are business people. Everyone likes to compare. The same old osmanthus cakes, mung bean cakes, and the like. They are not fresh. Mr. Hua wants to make some new things to show off. When Soo-won heard that it was a big business, she was very happy. She saw the results on the first day of setting up the stall. She was so happy in her heart, but she was deliberately suppressing it. But in 4 days, can you make it in time? the uncle said, and began to worry that Suwon didn't have enough time. He had to go to Lefengshai to order osmanthus cake 10 days in advance. He dared to guarantee that the little girl could not refuse this big order, but he was worried that she would not be able to make it in time. Suwon hurriedly shook her head when he heard this. No problem. 4 days are enough. We can deliver 150 copies on time. Shakima is easy to make. They can make 200 copies a day, which is nothing. But we have to collect a deposit. After all, we are a small business with high costs and we dare not take risks. Suwon then put forward his own requirements. Of course, according to your pricing, 150 copies is 22 taels of silver and 50 coins. I will pay you half of the deposit, 11 taels. Do you think it's okay? The housekeeper was also very easy to talk to. However, Suwon's request was normal and in accordance with the rules, and he had no reason not to agree. Then I'll give you our address, and we'll do honest business. Suwon couldn't just take the deposit and leave. If they couldn't find him at that time, they would still be worried. No need. Mr. Hoi in our family is a kind-hearted man. He doesn't need to distrust you for such a small amount of money. The people in Qinghe County are simple and honest. We trust you. Unexpectedly, the housekeeper refused directly. Yes, 11 taels is nothing for their conditions. He has prepared the silver and has written a deposit form. 150 shaki ma must be delivered to the Hu mansion in the west of the city before the afternoon 4 days later, and the balance will be paid at that time. Suwon's trip was worth it. He opened up the business of custom orders at once. I believe there will be more and more such orders in the future. This business was negotiated happily. After sending the housekeeper away, Suwon began to laugh. She had been pretending to be serious just now. Haha, Jongyu, do you think I am awesome? She said at the beginning that many families had weddings to hold near the end of the year, and they must order shaki ma. Sure enough, she guessed it right. She had a harvest on the first day. Seeing her expression of seeking praise, Jongyu also smiled. Well, great. She is indeed great. She is very good at identifying business opportunities and grasping them. Let's go. I'll take you to find your second brother. Suwon took the lead and walked out of the tea house. When the housekeeper left just now, he had left the tea money to the waiter. Jongyu followed obediently behind, and the two went all the way to Jishan Hall. Sumu was quite free today, so he was flipping through some books about medical skills in the shop, reading them very seriously. He was quite surprised when Suwon came, and he was even more surprised when he saw Jongyu following her. He didn't expect that they would appear here at this time. Suwon, why are you here? He put down the book in his hand and walked out from the counter. Jongyu wants to see you for something. Suwon pointed at Jongyu behind him, and Jongyu nodded at him. Sumu looked at Jongyu's outfit and guessed what he was here for. After greeting the doctor in Jishintang, Sumu took Suwon and Jongyu to the backyard to talk. He lived with several waiters in Jishintang for people in one room. He was an apprentice and his monthly salary was not high. He was mainly here to learn the skills. There was a small courtyard behind the medicine hall, and the three of them sat here to talk. Sumu first took Jongyu's pulse. His body had recovered a lot, but his internal injuries still needed to be recuperated, and it was not suitable to use his true energy. The recovery is good. That's still thanks to the medical skills of Dr. Su and the care of Wanwan and the others. Jongyu said politely. When Sumu heard that he also called him Wanwan, he couldn't help frowning and then looked back and forth at the two. He had only been away for these days, so they were so familiar. It's mainly because you have a good physique and you made it through. Sumu didn't say nice words. This was the truth. Suwon automatically ignored the look in his second brother's eyes until Jongyu took out 2 silver bills from his arms. One for Sumu and one for Suwon. This is the consultation fee owed to Dr. Su, and this is the board and lodging expenses for the days at the Su family. 2 silver notes of 100 taels. This is a bit too generous. It would not cost so much money just to collect the consultation fee, and there are also food and lodging expenses. The conditions of the Su family are not good, and the food and accommodation are also poor, which is not worth 100 taels. This is too much. We can't accept it. Sumu and Suwon refused in unison, not a word wrong, and they themselves felt incredible after saying it. This tacit understanding, it's really brother and sister. I said before, just calculated according to the consultation fee charged by ordinary doctors, not to mention that I am not a serious doctor, including the medical expenses, it is not as much as 100 taels. Yes, and the food expenses are too much, you don't eat well, or live well in our house. I charge you 100 taels. Isn't this a complete profiteer? The brother and sister refused one after another, and they had reasons. Jiangyu was helpless. He held his forehead and continued. It doesn't matter how much money is. What matters is friendship. The Su family saved my life. What could be greater than such a favor? I feel that I gave too little and I feel uneasy. You can't ask for so much. Our brother and sister only need 100 taels together, and you can take the remaining 100 taels back. He said it was friendship, but what they wanted was the bottom line. Doctors treat illnesses and save lives. If I have to charge a high consultation fee just for saving your life, then won't I have to ask for generous rewards for everyone I save in the future? In this way, it goes against the virtue of a doctor's benevolence. Won't those poor people who get sick have to wait to die because they can't afford to pay the money? Su Mu's words were too noble, and Jiangyu suddenly felt that he had no vision. I really can't convince you two, brother and sister, so I'll do as you say. But we're friends now. I'll treat the Su family's affairs as my own in the future. I hope you don't be shy about telling me if you have any difficulties. This was Jiangyu's promise to them. This family was full of righteous people, and it was a great honor for Jiangyu to meet them. So he took back a silver note, and Su Mu turned around and gave the silver note to Su Wan. Wan, keep it. This silver note can be used by my eldest brother to take the exam. This solved an urgent problem. Speaking of his eldest brother, Su Wan thought that he had to bring his parents back quickly so that they wouldn't be tired outside. If they delayed any longer, Su's father would break his leg before the end of the year. There were still 2 months left, so it was still in time. He quickly asked his third brother to pick them up. Now that the family had a business, they didn't have to worry about their livelihood anymore. The brothers had grown up and didn't need to worry about it anymore, so they naturally didn't have to continue working outside. Okay, got it. Su Wan didn't act pretentiously. Since it was for her eldest brother, she accepted it. Jiangyu, what are your plans for the future? Su Mu wanted to know what he was going to do next. I want to stay at the Su family for a while to recover from my injuries, so I'll have to bother you for a while. I'll leave before the end of the year. Jiangyu still had some unfinished business to figure out. He came to Qinghe County to find someone, and now he has some clues, just waiting for verification. Moreover, she didn't want to leave her current life too quickly. The rare peace made people nostalgic. Jiangyu glanced at Su Wan, who was talking to Su Mu, and for a moment he couldn't tell whether he was staying because of the person or because of the peace. In Su Mu's opinion, maybe he had to stay at the Su family, but they had already paid a large amount of food expenses, so he couldn't say anything if he stayed for a while. Okay, I'll prescribe some medicine for you to treat your internal injuries later, and you can stay at the Su family for now. Thank you, Dr. Su. Jiangyu clasped his fists towards him. Su Wan told Su Mu about what happened recently. Su Mu heard that she had thought of a new way to make money and had just received an order of more than 20 taels, and couldn't help but admire her cleverness a little more. I have to admit that Su Wan is a girl with a lot of ideas. She not only has ideas, but also has excellent practical ability. She can do what she says and see the results immediately. I don't deny that Su Wan is indeed a lucky star. Since she came back, the economic conditions of the Su family have been getting better and better. Seeing that the time is almost up, Su Wan still has to go shopping for a lot of things, so she won't stay any longer. Okay, second brother, we'll leave first. Take good care of yourself. Before leaving, Su Wan took a few taels of silver and stuffed them into Su Mu's pocket, but Su Mu refused to take them. I have food and shelter every day, so I don't need to carry silver in my hands. Take some silver with you, just in case it's needed. Su Wan saw that he was alone outside and still had to have silver with him, so she insisted on letting him take it. Su Mu refused no matter what he said. I'll go back in a few days, I don't need silver, and I've received my monthly allowance, so I still have money on me. Since he refused to take it, Su Wan didn't force it anymore. Sumu sent them out of Jishan Hall and went back only after they walked away. Looking at the two figures, one tall and one short, Sumu fell into deep thought. There are many stories about a talented man and a beautiful woman, but being well-matched is a strong obstacle. Both of them are men and women in their throbbing years. If they spend every day together, will they really not develop feelings for each other? Also, Jongyu is not an ordinary citizen. Are he and Suwon really suitable? In his opinion, Suwon is a clear-headed girl with a strong opinion and personality. He just hopes that she will not be blinded by feelings. After Suwon left Jishan Hall, she began to buy ingredients: 50 kilograms of flour, 20 kilograms of sugar, sesame seeds, dried red dates, raisins, and a stack of oil paper. After returning, let the third brother go to the mine where Sue's father and mother are, pick them up, and stay away from danger, and then talk about business. Anyway, no matter how important the matter is, it is not as important as the safety of parents. Fortunately, there is Jongyu, a free laborer, but her strength is still too small, so she can only trouble him with peace of mind. Dressed so decently but carrying a load on the street, the contrast is really obvious. It was agreed that he would change his mask, but when he went to buy materials, he found ready-made masks for sale. In a jewelry store, there were several masks that didn't fit in the corner and were covered with dust. Among them, there was a brown leather mask that was very suitable for Jongyu. The shopkeeper said that because many people had scars on their faces that they wanted to cover up, they made masks to sell, but no one bought them, so they could only be placed in the corner to collect dust. Seeing that Suwon wanted it, the shopkeeper said that he would give her a discount and she could just give her 10 cents and take it away. Suwon looked at Jongyu and wanted to ask for his opinion. Jongyu didn't care. In fact, he liked the mask Suwon made for her very much, but if she insisted on buying it, he would not stop her. Buy it if you want. You wear it, not me, so of course I have to ask your opinion.
Suwon tortith.
Jongyu was choked by her and was actually a little speechless. Then do you like it? Seeing that he couldn't speak, Suwon simply asked him the same question. I like it. Of course I don't like it. Jongyu felt that if she was willing to buy it for him, he would still like it very much. It was not the first time for him to receive a gift from a girl, most of which were priceless, but he was not surprised. But he was very happy to receive Suwon's gift. I don't know why, it was obviously a very ordinary gift, not worth a lot of money, maybe because the gift was small but the sentiment was great. Suwon paid 10 cents neatly and gave him the mask. Wear it yourself, I won't help you again. Putting the mask in his hand, Suwon turned around and left first, fearing that he would make these unreasonable demands again. Jongyu chuckled and stuffed the new mask into his clothes, not in a hurry to put it on now. The two of them left the city one after the other, and waited for a while at Lao Hongdo's place, and went back only after everyone arrived. It was afternoon when they returned home. Unexpectedly, Su Chun and Su Yun had returned, and all the shikima were sold out. Suwon was not surprised that Su Yun and others could complete the task, because Su Yun was a community bull, but Su Chun's performance was what made him happy the most. Wanwan, this is the money we made from selling shikima today. Su Chun took out more than 8 taels of silver, and Su Yun also had more than 8 taels. Third brother is amazing. He sold out all the shikima on the first try. Suwon praised him generously. Su Chun scratched his head embarrassedly. No, it's just that the villagers are very nice and supportive. I didn't do anything. Another thing is that the snacks made by Wanwan are delicious. He was quite humble. After taking this step today, he didn't seem so nervous. Third brother, you are so humble.
Suhan laughed, Hareebros jurved.
She then told everyone about the order she received from the Hu mansion on the street. Su-yun was overjoyed when he heard it, and felt that he was one step closer to leaving the restaurant. Tomorrow, the fourth and fifth brothers will continue to sell goods in other villages. As for the third brother, please stop for a few days. I want you to bring my parents back. Now our family has a profitable business. There is no need for them to do hard labor outside. I want them to come back and rest. Suwon was thinking about his father and mother and didn't want them to work so hard for a few taels of silver a month. Su Chun and the others didn't expect Su Wan to bring up this matter suddenly. After all, they themselves hadn't thought about it. Su Wan, why did you suddenly think of bringing my parents back?
Su Yun asked.
However, Su Wan had already thought of the wording. I think we have the ability to let my parents enjoy life now, so there's no need for them to work hard outside to dig. They have worked hard for so many years. It's time for them to enjoy life. Several brothers were ashamed. They didn't consider the problem of their parents suffering outside. But Suwon has only been back for a few months. She has no emotional foundation with her parents, but she has such awareness.
How can they not feel ashamed?
But Suwon's starting point cannot be told to them. One reason is that it is not credible. If she directly says that Su's father will have an accident, she can only be regarded as sick without evidence. Although it is a bit hypocritical, she herself has no feelings for Su's father and mother. She does not deny that there is a pretense in it. You are right, I will go to pick up my parents tomorrow. Su Chun has made a decision. They can earn money now, and their parents naturally don't have to work in the mines anymore. It is dangerous and hard. Taking advantage of the time now, Suwon made the shaki ma that Su Yun and others will sell tomorrow. Her next market will be in 7 days, so there is no rush. She can just get the orders from the Hua mansion out in 2 days. The next morning, Su Chun set out for the mine before dawn. Su Yun and his friends had breakfast after dawn and started to go to different villages to sell shakima. They made 60 portions yesterday afternoon. Hopefully, they can sell them all today. Only Su Wan and Jiang Yu were left at home. She hadn't slept early for a while, so she stayed in bed for a long time until she woke up naturally. When she got up, it was already bright. Su Yun left her breakfast in the pot, but Jiang Yu was not at home either. No one knew where he had gone. Su Wan ignored him. He had his own things to do, and it was not good to interfere too much. At this time, Jiang Yu was wandering around the village wearing a mask. Everyone in the village knew that he was a cousin of the Su family, so they didn't care too much, but there were still many people talking about him. He wandered around the village aimlessly until he met a child herding sheep. The child looked less than 10 years old and looked innocent and harmless, so he asked him, "Kid, are you asking something?" The little boy who herded sheep looked puzzled at the strange brother in front of him wearing a mask. "What do you want to ask?" He was a little scared. The sheep were surrounding them, bleeding, and some had already run ahead. He kept following his sheep. "Is there a hunter in the village? Where is his home?" Jiang Yu asked him directly. The child was anxious to catch up with his sheep, so he pointed in a direction for him. "Just follow this road, and you will see a yard with a blue brick wall." Jiang Yu understood and took out a small piece of silver and gave it to the boy who was herding sheep. "Thank you." The boy happily took the silver. It was a piece of cake, and he was so generous just to ask for directions. Jiang Yu left quickly, and the boy also went to chase his flock of sheep. He soon came to the yard with the blue brick wall. From the outside, he couldn't see anything. It was just an ordinary blue brick and tile house, but he could clearly see the branches of the peach trees planted inside. Coincidentally, the door of the yard was opened, and a middle-aged man took his hunting tools out of the door and went into the mountains. He didn't seem to notice Jiang Yu's presence, and Jiang Yu didn't see his face clearly. So he followed him. Everyone was a martial arts master. Jiang Hunter keenly discovered that someone was following him halfway through his walk. Jiang Yu could also tell from his steps that this person's martial arts foundation was not low. Jiang Hunter stopped halfway and picked up a stone and threw it behind him. It was mixed with internal force and temptation, but Jiang Yu caught it steadily and held it in his palm. "Who is coming? Tell me your name." Jiang Hunter replied in a deep voice. Jiang Yu walked out of the dark, saying as he walked, "Fenghua Villa, Jiang Yu." When Jiang Hunter heard the place name and the person's name, his eyes suddenly sank, and then he was shocked. He turned around and looked at Jiang Yu. Jiang Yu saw his reaction and had already made up his mind. He smiled and shouted, "Uncle He, I haven't seen you for many years. It's so hard for me to find you." Su Chen arrived at the mine before noon. At the foot of the mountain, he heard the sound of iron hitting the stone. He came to the mine with ease and found the place where Su's mother was cooking. Sue's mother was busy making lunch for the workers with two other women, and she didn't notice that her third son came to find her.
Mom?
When Soo-chan called her, she was not sure, and she recognized it when she got closer. Aiken, why are you here? Mom, Wonwon asked me to take you and Dad back.
Soo-chan answered truthfully.
Why are you going back? Did something happen at home? Sue's mother was called back for no reason and thought something happened at home. Soo-chan hurriedly explained and told Sue's mother everything that Soo-won had done at home during this period, including how much silver she had earned, how she had paid off her debts, and now she had come up with a new way to make money, so she asked him to take his parents home to enjoy themselves and not have to continue working. Mom, Wonwon said that you and Dad have worked hard for most of your lives, and it's time to have a good rest. The mines are dangerous and hard. Now that we have the ability to earn silver, you and Dad can come back to enjoy your old age. But your eldest brother will need a large sum of silver for the imperial examination next year. Your father and I have paid off our debts over the years, and we have only saved a few dozen taels. Add what you have earned. Is it enough? It turned out that Sue's father and mother still had savings, but not much. They all wanted to use it for their eldest son's travel expenses for the imperial examination. The usury incident in the original book was probably filled with the silver so that there was no savings later and they could only go to the mine day and night, which led to the accident. Now that Soo-won has indirectly solved the problem, the plot has also changed. She saved Jong-yu, and Jong-yu made compensation according to her guidance, instead of having too much contact with the original heroine, as in the original novel, and leaving after his injury, was almost healed, without any other compensation except for a valuable jade and favors. Soo-chan had no choice but to tell Sue's mother that he saved Jong-yu, and Jong-yu gave him a large sum of silver as compensation. 100 taels? That's too much. Sue's mother was surprised after hearing this. She didn't expect that people would give so much for the medical fee. So generous. It directly solved the problem that Soo-jing had no money for the imperial examination. At the beginning, they gave 200 taels, but my second brother didn't want it. He felt it was not worth so much. Soo-chan continued to explain. What your second brother did was right. Although we saved someone's life, we can't repay the favor. But I still have to ask your father's opinion on this matter. You wait first. I will finish the work at hand, and then tell you in detail. Sue's mother is a very responsible person. Even if she suddenly became rich, she would not be lazy and not do what she should do.
Soo-chan waited obediently.
After Sue's father got off work and had lunch, he pulled him and Sue's mother to continue talking about things. Sue's father's reaction was the same as Sue's mother. They all thought that something happened at home when they suddenly asked him to go back. Soo-chan recounted in detail what had happened in the past few days, and specifically explained that this was Soo-won's filial piety. This made the couple feel a little ashamed after listening to it. They had never raised their own daughter, and even left the day after she came back, without considering her feelings at all. There was no emotional foundation, so they didn't know how to express their love for their daughter. Suddenly, they received the news that the daughter they had raised for more than 10 years was not their own, and no one could accept it immediately. However, Soo-won was not angry, and she still missed them so much, was kind to her brothers, and was also sincere about family matters. What else can you say about such a good child? In fact, in the original book, they didn't dislike her because of their weak feelings, but the feelings needed to be cultivated slowly, but the original owner did not give them this opportunity. She despised them for being rural people, uneducated, dealing with mud every day, and having no taste. She often mocked them with words, and disliked them and attacked them with actions. Many times, they endured it for the sake of their biological children, but later it involved frame-ups, human lives, and moral character. How could they speak for her and protect her? If the emperor breaks the law, he will be punished as a commoner, not to mention that she is a person who has already committed a big mistake. You see, now Soo-won knows how to build feelings and trust between people, gradually let them trust themselves, see their good side, the most real side, treat people with sincerity, and do not do things that hurt the world, then nothing will happen. But if someone comes to disgust you specifically, she will not suffer this grievance in vain. She can be well-behaved and sensible, but she will not accept it and swallow it with broken teeth. According to Su Chen, the couple does not need to continue working in the mine now. However, leaving as soon as they say they will is not in line with the rules. At least they should finish this month. There are still 10 days before this month ends. Let's go and tell the manager that we will stop working after this month, but leaving as soon as they say we will stop working. But it is too irresponsible to leave as soon as they say we will stop working. Your mother, and I know Wanwan's intentions. You go back and tell her that we will go home after this month. Father Su is also very serious about things, starting and ending well, and will not be irresponsible to stop working as soon as they say they will stop working. I have been in this mine for several years, and I am familiar with the manager. I always have to say hello to him before I leave. Su Chen also thought it made sense. It was only 10 days, so he agreed with his parents. Then I will go back today. You can go home after this month. Well, your eldest brother and second brother are not at home. You are the eldest in the family. You must take good care of Wanwan. Don't let her do everything. As a brother, you must learn to take the lead. Before Su Chen left, Father Su specifically told Su Chen. Su Chen nodded repeatedly, then went down the mountain and returned to the village. He had to speed up and get home before dark. This area is remote. At night, there are too many wild beasts. He did not bring any weapons with him. It is still unreliable to rely on fists and feet. Jiang Yu came back soon after, as if nothing had happened. When he came back, he saw Su Wan washing her hair in the yard. She washed her hair with the soap she made herself, and the experience was quite good. The bubbles were rich and dense, and the smell was okay. Compared with modern chemical shampoos, the fragrance is definitely far behind, and it is difficult to restore it exactly. Anyway, it is much better than the smell of soap. She happened to be drying her hair, and her long hair hung wetly on her shoulders, and her clothes were wet in one place, with obvious watermarks on them. "Where did you go?" Seeing him come back, Su Wan asked casually. "I just walked around here casually, and didn't do anything," Jiang Yu said vaguely. Su Wan would not go into details. He went to find Jiang the hunter, she knew it. When he deliberately asked yesterday morning, she knew that he would go to find him, and the two should have met. How to describe the relationship between these two people? Jiang Yu's grandfather was the leader of a well-known sect in the world. He had a close disciple, Jiang Hunter, who was childhood sweethearts with Jiang Yu's mother, but the two did not get together. Jiang Yu's mother chose someone else, and in this story, he was set as the second male lead, the kind of person who could not get what he wanted because of love and separation. Because his beloved girl died, and he could not accept it, he chose to retire to the countryside. Jiang Yu encountered some difficult things, so he wanted to ask him to come out of the mountain, but there had been no news of this uncle for many years, and he searched for nothing. After getting some clues, he followed the clues to find Qinghe County, but accidentally left alone and was hunted down by his enemies. This triggered the subsequent storyline and had an intersection with the heroine. However, now the original object has been replaced by Su Wan, which has led to a series of changes in the plot. Jiang Yu and Gu Yu did not connect on this line, and Su Wan didn't know what would happen in the future. However, it won't be long before Gu Yu will meet the male lead. The changes in Jiang Yu's line will not affect them, because in the early stage of the original work, the two of them did not have much communication except for meeting twice. Although she is not the favorite of the brothers now, they also regard her as a family member in their hearts. So in the future, if she and Gu Yu have some inevitable disputes, she will use the halo of the heroine or the background of the male lead to suppress herself. They will never sit idly by. She just needs to not do anything that hurts the world. It's cold, so you'd better dry your hair to avoid catching a cold. Jiang Yu saw that her hair was still dripping with water, and the weather was not warm now, so he subconsciously reminded her to pay attention. Su Wan was indeed a little cold, and felt that the wind blew over, and her head was buzzing. She simply went to the kitchen to light the fire and make lunch. "What do you want to eat at noon?"
Su Wan asked.
There were only two of them at home, but Jiang Yu was strictly a guest. He paid money, so he couldn't neglect him. "Just eat something, I'm not very hungry." Jiang Yu didn't want to bother her. Then, let's have noodles. Jiang Yu really didn't mind just eating something, and turned to ask her. By the way, can you give me my sword? I haven't practiced for too long, it's rusty. Since he found the person he was looking for today, he was in a good mood. When he was in a good mood, he wanted to practice swordplay. He was itching to do so. Suwon took out his sword and gave it to him, and he began to dance in the yard. He had just learned that uncle he had accepted an apprentice, and this person was Su Chen. He said, no wonder he always felt that Su Chen's temperament was familiar. Apprentices have a bit of the master's style. While boiling water, Suwon leaned against the door and watched him dance with the sword. Jiang Yu saw her staring at him dancing with the sword, and subconsciously danced harder. It is not ruled out that he has a bit of narcissism. How to describe that feeling? Anyway, he likes Suwon's reaction. The person involved, Suwon, did not think that Jiang Daxia's psychological activities were like this. She was just a modern person and had never seen it. This kind of clip that only appears in TV dramas, those three-legged cats posing for fancy moves, is obviously not good enough compared to these serious professionals. Look at how the swords are swung, flowing like clouds and water, and you can clearly hear the sound of the wind caused by the blades. This kind of free performance by professionals is a waste not to watch. Moreover, Jiang Yu's outfit, coupled with his high ponytail, the image of a high-spirited, unruly, and free young knight in the novel, seems to have been reflected in reality. She couldn't help thinking that if Jiang Yu went to the streets to perform, he would definitely earn a lot of tips. While she was appreciating and distracted, the water on the stove had already boiled, bubbling, and the steam of the water had already filled the entire kitchen. Jiang Yu noticed the scene, and seeing that she was distracted, he stopped to remind her and put the sword behind his back with one hand. What are you thinking about? You are almost in a fairyland. His tone was relaxed and full of joking, his eyebrows were raised, and he was smiling, looking even more high-spirited. Suwon suddenly reacted, remembered that she was still boiling water, and immediately turned around and hurriedly went to cook noodles. Every time she was alone with him, she would always lose her composure. So embarrassing. She just made some simple hand-rolled noodles, chopped some meat, and used the fourth brother's homemade soy sauce to make a soup base, which tasted surprisingly good. Jiang Yu was very polite and ate it all, except for the soup. He didn't finish it to maintain his image as a gentleman, so as not to be laughed at by Suwon for his poor eating manners. After all, they were in the countryside, and Jiang Yu couldn't be too conspicuous, for fear that passers-by would see him, so he only danced for a while and returned the sword to Suwon for safekeeping. Suwon was going to the vegetable garden to get some fresh vegetables to eat, and after eating the noodles, she went out with a basket on her shoulder. Jiang Yu, I'm going to pick vegetables. She said hello to him, and he wanted to go with her. I'll go with you. We're not going out to play, just picking vegetables. Why are you following? Suwon raised a reasonable question. Now that they're familiar with each other, there is no need to be so polite as before. Just say whatever you want to say. There's no need to hide anything. It's too boring at home. I want to go out more. He just came back from a walk and now he wants to go out again? But she can't restrict his actions. Never mind, they can go together. It won't lose any meat. She couldn't say what was wrong with Jiang Yu, but it was wrong anyway. So the two of them closed the bamboo fence yard door and went out to the vegetable garden one after another. I have to make shaki ma when I come back later. My life schedule is very full. I came to the vegetable garden collectively reclaimed by the villagers. I had been here with Su Yun before and knew which field my family belonged to. There are small cabbages in the field which are all green, pollution-free, and pure natural plants. At this time, most people are taking a nap at home, and few people come out. When the two came, they only saw two figures from a distance, who seemed to be the two sisters He Jiaolan. She wanted to go up and say hello, but before she could speak, she saw He Jiaolan push her sister, He Jiaoxing, to the bottom of the field. After pushing her, she patted the dirt on her palms and walked away without looking back. Her behavior made Suwon a little confused. Aren't they sisters? Even if there was a dispute, her sister couldn't speak and couldn't defend herself. How could the dispute go so far that she would even fight? He Jialon didn't realize that Suwon had witnessed her bullying her sister. When Suwon came over, He Jiaoxing was ready to climb out of the ditch by herself. There was a canal below, and the water from the river was diverted into it to irrigate the vegetable fields. She was pushed down, her whole body was wet, and there was mud on her face.
Her clothes were tightly attached to her body.
In the November weather, she was shivering with cold. Jiang Yu saw this, and out of courtesy, he immediately turned around to avoid her sight and consciously walked away for a distance. Suwon reached out and pulled her. She couldn't say anything, but just bowed slightly to Suwon to express her gratitude. Suwon didn't ask He Jialon why she treated her like this. She couldn't speak, so it was useless to ask. Go home and change your clothes quickly, don't catch a cold. Hearing this, He Jialon looked at the direction where her sister left, with fear in her eyes and a shrunken expression. She shook her head and didn't dare to go home yet. Although I don't know why you two sisters have conflicts, don't be afraid of her. Go back and express it to your parents. They will help you to get justice. Suwon looked at her reaction and subconsciously thought that she was afraid of her sister. He Jialon's eyes became dim again when she heard this. Suwon didn't know that her parents were also biased, and their hearts were biased towards her sister. Even if they said it, they would not get justice for themselves, but would only scold her together. She was a mute, and her congenital defects caused her to always be inferior to her sister in all aspects, so it was natural for her to suppress her. When Suwon saw her eyes, she knew that this was not simple, and it was definitely not as simple as she thought. But she didn't like to meddle in these trivial matters that had nothing to do with her. Wait for me to pick some pak choi, it will be quick. Go to my house and sit for a while before you go back. That was all she could do. She quickly picked a bunch of pak choi enough for the whole family and put it in the basket, then she took He Jiaoxing back. Jiang Yu had been walking in front, never looking back, because of the etiquette between men and women. The man could not look directly at the woman if she got wet. After returning, Suwon asked her to wash her face and put on her own clothes, or to be more precise, the clothes that Guyu had worn. Everyone was of similar age and stature, so it was fine as long as they could wear them. Suwon actually didn't want to wear Guyu's old clothes, but she had no money in the early stage, and the new clothes she had ordered had not been made yet. He Jiaoxing changed into clean clothes and kept talking to Suwon in a babbling voice, probably to say thank you. No need to thank me, it's nothing. If you don't want to go back now, just sit at my house for a while before going back. Suwon washed his hands, said hello, and didn't continue to care about her. He kneaded dough in the kitchen by himself, and He Jiaoxing didn't stay for long. Not long after, she left with her dirty clothes. Jiang Yu kept avoiding her and waited until she left before coming out. He helped Suwon to light the fire and do chores without any complaints. After that, Su Yun and his two brothers came back. Today's business was not as good as yesterday. There were still more than a dozen pieces left unsold. Because there were few people in the village today, he only made more than 6 taels of silver. Su Yun looked at these unsold shikima and felt a little frustrated. Obviously, he tried so hard to shout, but he still couldn't sell them all. Fourth brother, if the business is so good every day, what else can we say? If business is so easy to do, then everyone in the world can do it together. It's just a little bit that hasn't been sold, so what's the big deal? Suwon comforted him in time and told him not to be infected by this emotion. How can this be okay? Su Yun nodded, temporarily abandoned those gloomy thoughts, and helped Suwon prepare the goods to be sold tomorrow. He is still young and has little experience. If things are not satisfactory, it will be easy to hit him. Because they're going to a big village tomorrow, they need to prepare more shikima.
Suwon prepare 100%.
Tomorrow, the two brothers will each take a part. This is still very hard. They have to walk a lot and are very tired, but he has no complaints. Tomorrow may be more tiring, but he will gain more. This is the road Su Yun chose to take. The idea has been given to him, and he has to make corresponding efforts. As for Su Yi and Su Chun who help with the labor, Suwon will prepare wages for them. They can't let them accompany the fourth brother to work for nothing. It is the fourth brother who wants to save money for business, not them. They must distinguish between public and private. Su-chun had just returned after dark. Su-won heated up the food for him and then sat at the door waiting for him, just like the day he rode to the provincial capital to get medicine. She was worried about why he hadn't returned yet and was afraid that he would be in danger or something. But she waited for him, but not for his parents. What's the matter? Didn't your parents come back with you? Su-chun told her about his parents' decision and planned to come back after finishing this month, which was more responsible. It was a positive choice, and Su-won certainly couldn't question anything. Anyway, the mine cave hadn't collapsed yet, and it shouldn't be a big deal if it was 10 days late. Besides, he had already returned. What else could she say? Su-chun had been gone for a day and had a few bites of food at the mine at noon. Now he was used to the dishes at home, and he couldn't get used to the ones outside. Su-won left him a big bowl of meat, and Su-chun wolfed it down, very satisfied. Won, have you prepared the shakima for me to sell tomorrow? Su-chun was still thinking about the task Su-won had given him. Third brother, you've been tired all day. You can take a day off tomorrow before going. Fourth brother, and the others can go tomorrow. I'm not tired. I don't do anything at home. I don't know what to do. He has a very simple personality, a bit like a rough man. It may be because he learned martial arts. He does things in a big and powerful way, not afraid of hardship or fatigue, just brave. No matter what, health comes first. Only when you have a good rest can you work more energetically. No matter what he said, she had to rest at home for a day tomorrow. The nearby villages can be run in a few days, so it doesn't matter if it's early or late. Su-chun couldn't persuade her, so he could only do what she said and rest at home tomorrow. Su-won took out another 3 taels of silver and gave it to him. This is the reward for helping fourth brother make money. It's the wages for helping him. Su-chun didn't understand her operation. We are all family. Why should we divide it into yours and mine? It's different. Fourth brother wanted to save money for business, so I gave him the idea. Now everyone is helping him. We must not work for nothing. She separated the money from selling shakima into separate parts. All the expenses for raw materials, including their wages, were deducted from it, as were all the profits. In the end, whatever money was earned belonged to Su-yun. Su-yi also received 3 taels of silver as wages. Although he did not do as much work as Su-chun, he accompanied him every day and spent his time. She also had to pay 3 taels of silver as her own wages because she was also busy every day. They were all workers hired by Su-yun and had to be paid. Su-yun himself said that there was no problem and that this was very fair. Su-yi also naturally accepted this setting and exchanged his own labor for wages. Su-won was really fair. He did not let Su-yun feel that all the money was earned easily, nor did he let the other brothers who helped suffer in vain. This was more meaningful for growth. After running around the surrounding towns, Su-won was ready to be a hands-off boss and would not even set up a stall at the county market. Su-yun was responsible for the purchase of ingredients and business orders. She would not care about how to spend, buy, or sign the bills. She would let him experience the process by himself and feel the feeling of being a boss in advance. There were still 30 taels of silver left from the soap sales. When he went to the Hua mansion to deliver the bill in 2 days, he would take the 50 pieces of hair soap to the grocery store. He would save the silver and use it for daily expenses at home. He would give it to Sue's mother for safekeeping when she came back. He would also make 2 sets of winter clothes for his parents so that the family could celebrate the new year happily. Su-chun heard that Su-yi had accepted it, so of course he could only accept it. It was just that it was the first time that he had so much money on him, and it felt a little unreal. He had never had pocket money since he was a child because there were many children in the family and they lived in poverty. Usually, when someone in the village came to sell candied haws, only the youngest sister had the chance to eat. As an older brother, he could only watch and give in. This is the first time I've earned wages. I don't know what to do with so much money. Su-won felt distressed after hearing this. 3 taels of silver is considered a lot? That's not much. If your fourth brother's business is prosperous, you can get more wages. But I have so much money on me, and I don't know what to do with it. Su-chun scratched his head and smiled embarrassedly. According to the original plot, he will join the army in the second half of next year. The wild tribes on the border will unite in uprising, and many nomadic peoples will be strong and powerful. There will be a tough battle to fight. After returning from the battlefield for 3 years, the third brother Su Chen has become a mighty young general who is famous all over the world. Of course it's saved for marrying a wife. Third brother, do you think you don't need a dowry to marry a wife in the future? When it comes to the topic of marrying a wife, Su Chen's face flushed. Wan, you just laugh at me. What's there to be embarrassed about? Starting a family and building a career are two great things in life. Third brother, have you thought about what kind of girl you want to marry in the future? In the original novel, except for the eldest brother who got married early and married a shrew, the other brothers were not given a detailed explanation. The story ended after the heroine reached the pinnacle of her life and lived happily with the hero. There were only a few hasty explanations. Except for the fourth brother Su Yun, who had never married, the other brothers had already married and had children, but no one knew whether they were happy or not. I haven't thought about it yet. Su Chen continued to blush. It was only when Su Wan asked him that he answered seriously. His reaction was very cute. Su Yun and the others were tired for a few days. They fell asleep on the bed early, so they didn't know about the conversation between Su Wan and Su Chen. He didn't have to work the next morning, so he slept in. After getting up, the fourth and fifth brothers had already gone out to sell goods. He saw that there was nothing to do and Shaki Ma would not be done until the afternoon, so he went to find his master naturally. When he came to the door of Jiang Yunha's yard and knocked on the door, he didn't even think about opening the door. Jiang Yu was also inside. The uncle and nephew were talking and they didn't deliberately avoid Su Chen. Master, Jiang Yu, do you know each other? Su Chen stood at the door and saw Jiang Yu sitting there, looking at him with a smile. I just found out yesterday that you are my uncle He's close disciple. How about it, are you interested in sparring with me? They all learned martial arts from the same sect, so there is nothing wrong with sparring. Su Chen looked at his master in confusion, and Jiang Yunha had to explain to his apprentice. Jiang Yu is the son of an old friend of mine. We met by chance. The martial arts he learned are from the same origin as the martial arts I taught you. You two can learn from each other, but just a little bit. It will also let me see what you two have learned over the years. Su Chen seemed to understand only half of the story, but he would not ask too much. If the master wanted to tell him the details, he would tell him. It would certainly not be convenient to explain in detail if he just mentioned it briefly. Su Chen's sword was with the master. Jiang Yu did not bring his own sword, so he just picked one from his uncle He's many collections. The two were preparing to fight in the huge yard. Before they started, Jiang Yunha specifically instructed, "Watch out, don't chop down my precious trees and flowers. They are all famous products. If they are destroyed, I will hold you accountable." Jiang Yu was speechless for a while, feeling that he was not taken seriously. It turned out that they, living people, were not as important as flowers and plants in He Shu's eyes. However, it was just a joke, and he couldn't take it seriously. But Su Chen was used to it. After so many years of getting along, he was used to his master's series of confusing operations. The two masters, one was from their grandfather, and the other was the grandfather's eldest disciple. Jiang Yu was greatly influenced since he was a child, unlike Su Chen, who learned secretly. There are still differences between the two. The two had a duel to the point, which was a draw. Strictly speaking, Jiang Yu should be better, because he had not recovered from internal injuries and was deliberately controlling himself. From the duel between the two, Jiang Yunha also saw the contrast between the two. "Thank you, Su Chen." After the fight, Jiang Yu clasped his fists to Su Chen. This opponent was quite good. Judging from his appearance and their daily interactions, he really couldn't tell that his martial arts skills were actually on par with his own. It can be seen that what the master said about natural-born martial artists was not bragging. You are still better. You are still injured, but I am honored to have the opportunity to spar with you today. Su Chen is also very modest. In comparison, Jiang Yu has much more practical experience than him. He is often forced to participate in some duels, deal with some assassinations, and often turn the tide with his own strength. He has martial arts but no place to use them. If he really wants to compare his strengths, he will feel inferior. It's not an honor, but it's my honor to meet you. Jiangyu believes that this family will have an unbreakable connection with him in the future. A small figure suddenly appeared in his mind, which made him more convinced of his thoughts. In fact, as long as he persists, some relationships will never be broken. Let's all sit down and have some tea. Jiang Yunhe has already brewed tea. His tea leaves are all top-quality goods. Like Jiangyu, he only loves pu'er. I just saw that one of you is not strong enough, and the other is not lively enough. Jiangyu belongs to the former. His moves are lively enough, but his moves are not strong enough. Su Chun, you belong to the latter. You have more than enough strength, but you are not lively enough. You two complement each other. You can learn from each other more. Yes, master, I will definitely practice diligently and learn from my strengths to overcome my weaknesses. Su Chun responded to his master's words as if they were orders from the King of Heaven. You are too honest, kid. You should be more tactful. I have told you countless times that if you insist on your nature, you will suffer in the future. You need to learn this from Jiangyu. He is very cunning and smart. Jiang Yunhe advised earnestly. I understand, master.
Su Chen smiled innocently.
Uncle He, are you praising me or scolding me? Jiangyu felt something was wrong when he heard this. Uncle He gave him a look that showed he understood. By the way, I will be leaving with Jiangyu in a while. There are some trivial matters in my old house that I need to deal with when I go back. Jiangyu came to find me this time on purpose. I have been away from my hometown for 10 years, and we have been master and apprentice for nearly 10 years. Along the way, I have also treated you as my child. In the future, you will have to walk your own way. As a master, I only hope that you can use the skills I taught you in the right way. Jiang Yunhe has decided to go back with Jiangyu. He is her child, and he needs her to go back to help him now. Since he has promised to help her take care of the orphans, he naturally cannot regret it. Master, why did you decide so hastily? Su Chun was still reluctant to let his master go. It was a temporary decision. The situation is urgent, and I cannot say much to you. You cannot tell anyone about the relationship between Jiangyu and me, understand? Jiangyu is not only an important figure in Fengyue Villa, but also has some connections in the capital, which is not convenient for outsiders to know. Su Chun nodded, with a sad expression, and then asked, Master, can we meet again in the future? Of course we will meet. If I am free, I will still return to Qinghe County. But Su Chun, you will be 18 soon, and I have nothing to teach you. What are your plans for the future? Of course Jiang Yunhe would never see this disciple again. How could he not have feelings for him after spending 10 years together? They are all made of flesh and blood. I am determined to defend my country, but now it is a peaceful and prosperous time, with peace everywhere and no wars. All the skills I have learned are useless. Su Chen's dream is very simple. He does not seek to expand the territory for the country, but only to ensure stability in one area. That's not necessarily true. Jiangyu suddenly interrupted. He took a sip of tea, twisted the cup with his bony fingers, and gently stroked it.
Jiangyu, why do you say that?
Not only Su Chen looked at him in confusion, but even Jiang Yunhe wanted to hear what was going on. You don't live at the feet of the emperor, so naturally you don't understand many current affairs. Although I haven't taken root in Kyoto, I have heard about many political affairs. The prosperity of our great Jin country today is entirely due to the expansion of territory and the foundation laid by our ancestors. One general's success is the result of the sacrifice of thousands of soldiers. Jin country has beautiful mountains and rivers, a vast territory, and many rich places, but the borders are mostly desolate, and many places are barren. Those nomadic peoples are dissatisfied with the status quo and covet some of the rich places on our border. They often invade our people on the border, burn, kill, loot, and do all kinds of evil. Some foreign countries are even ready to move, and there is a tendency to unite. When paying tribute every year, they openly provoke and do not take your majesty seriously. This war is only a matter of time. If you win, you can get at least 100 years of stability. If you lose, the people will suffer, and the prosperous times that have been hard to come by will return to the previous state of displacement. So, if you want to destroy the country, there are plenty of opportunities. He is given a definite message. It stands to reason that as a person who is not in the court, he should not discuss state affairs at will. But now they're just talking about it in private, so it's not a big problem.
Really?
Jiang Yunhe has been in seclusion in the countryside for 10 years, so naturally he doesn't know these rumors. It can't be false. I heard it from the old man. Jiang Yu would only say it after getting confirmed news. He would not talk nonsense about things that are groundless. The nomadic peoples have always been strong in military and horses. If they really unite to attack the border, it will be a tricky thing. Jiang Yunhe quickly analyzed the pros and cons, looking embarrassed. He didn't want to see such a situation. The prosperous times were hard-won. Once the war broke out, the mainland would still be affected to some extent. Now the army and horses are being reorganized in private. Once the border is in danger, the war will be imminent. There was a rumor in Kyoto that the emperor had ordered the reorganization of the army and horses. It depends on the situation on the border. Anyway, this war is unavoidable. If that day really comes, I will join the army without hesitation. Su Chun made the decision almost immediately. Once his country needs him, he will not be a coward. You are worthy of being my good apprentice. You want to join the army to defend your country. I am proud of you. However, the situation on the battlefield is unpredictable and dangerous. There are many hidden dragons and crouching tigers on the battlefield. If you are not careful, you will be doomed, and you will have to pay the price of your life. As long as you think it through and say hello to your family, I will not stop you. In fact, Jiang Yunhe wanted to say that before he made these decisions, he must consider the feelings of his family. He is their son, brother, and elder brother. Will they agree to let him join the army and fight? What if he goes and never comes back? However, Su Qin just smiled with relief, his expression relaxed. Master, I've thought about it a long time ago. I have so many brothers. If I die for my country in the future, my parents will still be taken care of by them until the end of their lives, and I, an unfilial son, can rest in peace. As for my sister, even without a brother like me, there are still other brothers to protect her. For the sake of everyone, I can naturally give up my small family, but what if I succeed? I have maintained this big family and protected my own small family. I have to fight for myself and fight for a bright future. If I win, I will be a hero defending my country, fulfilling myself, and also gaining fame and fortune so that my family can live a better life. Isn't that the best of both worlds? Jiang Yunhe nodded. His disciple had grown up and had his own ideas. I am very pleased that you can say such words to me today. I used to think that you were too brave and not good at planning. Now it seems that I am narrow-minded, but I can leave with peace of mind. Jiang Yunhe found that he still didn't know his apprentice well enough. He used to think that he was simple and hardworking, and he practiced martial arts hard, not the kind of opportunist. He was also secretly worried that his honest character didn't know how to plan for himself and would suffer in the future. Now it seems that he is still ambitious, not bad. Jiang Yu listened to his words and couldn't help showing admiration. He met a family of gods. Not only were they kind and simple, but they also had great righteousness in their hearts. The eldest wanted to enter the official career and work for the people, the second studied medicine, saved the dying and the wounded, and the third joined the army to defend the country. He suddenly felt that the Su family was stepping on the glowing golden lotus under their feet. However, he admired them very much. They were all for the country, for the family, and for the people. Then, Master, when do you and Jiang Yu decide to leave? Su Qin continued to ask. They only said that they were going to leave, but did not say when they would leave. After Jingdan, Jiang Yu replied. The specific date of leaving was still up to him. He was a little reluctant to leave his current life. To be honest, he had grown up facing many hypocritical people wearing masks around him. He was used to being cold-hearted, and he had never been able to do so. Once he lived this kind of warm life, he would easily get addicted. It was too peaceful and exciting. How long had it been since he had the feeling of closing his eyes and looking forward to the arrival of the next day? What would happen tomorrow? What to say? What to eat? It was precisely because of this reality that he couldn't let go. Soo-won and the others' feelings were the only ones that made him feel real, because they were not like fake people. Jeongdan is what they call New Year's Day here, which means that in more than a month, Jong-yu and the others will leave. After that, Soo-chun and Jong-yu returned to the Soo family courtyard together. Soo-won went to the river to wash clothes. The water in the river was freezing cold. Since the weather turned cold, her third brother and his friends didn't ask her to help wash their clothes. They would wash them by themselves, so Soo-won only needed to wash her own clothes. Many aunties from the village were also washing clothes by the river. When they saw Soo-won coming, they greeted her. "Hey, Soo's daughter. Are you here to wash clothes?" "Yes, auntie." Soo-won had become familiar with them. "I'm not busy today. Do you still have the cakes with the sand code? Can you leave 2 for me?" Yes, come over in the evening and buy them hot. I'll give you a discount." Soo-won waved her hand and squatted down in a suitable place. These aunties liked her very much. As soon as she came, they would tell her gossip. "Soo-won, you are usually close to the 2 girls from the village chief's family. Have you heard about Jiao Xing from her family?" Speaking of He Jiao Xing, Soo-won remembered the incident that happened yesterday and frowned. It seems that there is something she doesn't know. What's wrong? It's that Jiao Xing can't talk, right? She's been dumb since she was a child, and she's only a few months older than you. Recently, her mother is trying to find a husband for her and has met several families. The husband was quite satisfied with her good looks, but when he heard that she was dumb, he immediately changed his mind, saying that unless she didn't want a penny for the bride price, she could only marry a disabled man. But if the husband didn't give the bride price, how could Jiao Xing's mother agree to do that? She has raised a good girl and is giving her away for free. Even if she can't talk, it's fine as long as she can have children. And Jiao Xing's family is not welcomed at home. Her mother favors her sister, and she is often beaten or scolded. Now no one wants her, and her mother dislikes her even more. They are both old bachelors who are almost 30 years old. Isn't it like jumping into a fire pit for a young girl like her? The old lady described it vividly, and Jiao Xing felt even more miserable. But her elder sister is already 17 or 18 and still hasn't gotten engaged. Her family isn't in a hurry, and she's only 13 or 14. Why are they in a hurry? At this time, an older sister who usually doesn't gossip with them also started gossiping. Such gossip is really too attractive to people. Then I don't know. Anyway, Zahua often praises her eldest daughter for being sensible, well-behaved, and capable. She will find a good husband in the future. Maybe she didn't pick a good one. Their daughter, Jalon, has been carefully raised since she was a child. Although she is not as good as the young ladies in the city, she is pretty good in the village. In my opinion, if you keep on being picky, she will become an old maid. What else is there to be picky about? It's good enough. With her status, could it be that she wants to be an official's wife? The aunt who is speaking, her son, had once had a crush on He Jialon and had asked someone to propose marriage to her, but was rejected, so the women of the 2 families had a grudge against each other, and they were sarcastic when gossiping about each other. But she really guessed it right. She just wanted to be an official's wife, waiting to marry Soo-won's eldest brother. Soo-won rolled her eyes silently and couldn't help but increase the strength of rubbing the clothes. The abacus beads were all on her face. She didn't agree to this marriage. Then I don't know, but she is not a qualified mother to push her own daughter into the fire pit. I am not afraid of offending people. I will tell you the truth. Just because the child has defects, you dislike her and favor another one? You are a piece of flesh that fell from your body. Do you really have no feelings at all? But then again, if Soo-won and Guyu had not been swapped since childhood, Soo-won could have lived a happy life, and her parents and brothers would have spoiled her unconditionally since childhood. It's just that there is no emotion after coming back, and it needs to be cultivated slowly. The flesh and blood relationship is there, and now it is getting better and better, right? You are really bold. You are not afraid of offending Zahua. She is the most aggressive. An aunt who was familiar with Soo-won came over and whispered to her. Soo-won didn't care. It was better if things got awkward. She didn't want to be a good person, but it was good for her brother to have some peace for a while. Speak of the devil, and he will appear. He Jalon's mother, Zahua, also came to the river with a basin to wash clothes. When she saw Suwon, she came to her place naturally. It was obviously very crowded, but she had to squeeze in. Come on, move out. Why don't you go to the spacious place over there, but you have to squeeze here? What's your purpose? Her aunt, who didn't get along with her, stabbed her on the spot. It's lively here, and besides, there's a pretty girl like Suwon, so I'm happy to come here. Suwon couldn't avoid this flattery. She wrung out her last piece of clothing, stood up, and prepared to run away. Well, I'm done washing, you guys continue. After saying that, without waiting for them to say anything, and regardless of Dazawa's helpless expression, she walked away. When she came back, Jiangyu and Su Chun had already returned. They didn't know where they had shot 2 wild rabbits and were preparing to boil water to kill the rabbits. Wanwan is back. We can have an extra meal tonight. Su Chun looked at Suwon happily and raised the wild rabbit in his hand to her like a treasure. Did you go hunting? Suwon saw that they had been out for a long time and then took out 2 wild rabbits like a magic trick. No, it was just a coincidence that we met at the foot of the mountain and caught it. It was true. He and Jiangyu met on the way home. Suwon didn't doubt them, but noticed the difference in one of the wild rabbits. Its belly was slightly bulging as if it was pregnant. Third brother, this is a female rabbit. It seems to be pregnant. Su Chun didn't notice it. After hearing what Suwon said, he was surprised to pick up the rabbit on the left. The belly was indeed a little bulging, but not obvious. He could tell the difference between male and female. This was indeed a female rabbit, but he didn't quite understand the matter of carrying a baby. I don't understand either. What should I do? He looked helpless and a little silly. Then don't eat this rabbit. Let's keep it for the time being. In case it can give birth to rabbits, we can continue to keep them. When they grow up, we can eat them ourselves or exchange them for silver. This is a good idea, and Su Chun agrees very much. Jiangyu is already boiling water, but Suwon ran in and told him that he could only kill one because the female rabbit seemed to be pregnant. Jiangyu's face turned red, and he couldn't help but coughing. In Kyoto, if those celebrities and daughters mentioned the word pregnant, they would be very embarrassed, but Suwon still made a big fuss about it. Is she really too young to understand anything, or does she not care? But obviously not. She is a modern person, and she is calm and composed when talking about these things. Then I'll listen to you, raise it, and have a baby. Suwon saw that his face was red to the roots of his ears, and she thought it was funny. I don't know what she said. Jiangyu, she called him, and Jiangyu went in and out of the kitchen with a fire tong, burning the fire seriously, as if he really found fun in this. Hearing her calling him seriously, Jiangyu looked up at her in confusion, only to see her squatting in front of him, holding her cheeks with both hands, smiling and teasing. What's wrong? He thought it was the soot on his face, and she was making fun of him. Do you know that you look a little innocent? Suwon said seriously. Innocence? What does it mean? Jiangyu couldn't understand this word. What does innocence mean? His peach blossom eyes were full of smiles, and he looked straight into her eyes, and the corners of his lips were consciously raised, wild and charming. He reacted too quickly, and immediately knew that she was teasing him on purpose, and quickly turned the tables and flirted back. Although he didn't understand the metaphor of this word, it was definitely not as simple as it sounded. Think about it yourself. Suwon didn't respond, and got up and left the kitchen. When she reached the door, she deliberately looked back at him, smiling brightly, like a cunning little fox. Anyway, I won't tell you, you taste it yourself. This kind of invisible teasing is the most unforgettable. Of course, this is just Jiangyu's understanding. Suwon just wants to make him entangled. Jiangyu was in a very happy mood, and the corners of his mouth didn't fall for a long time. In the evening, Su Yun and Su Yi came back, and Shakima was sold out, and got 13 taels of silver, all of which were entered into the general ledger. After a quick meal, he joined the busy work of making shakima, not letting himself rest for a moment. By midnight, he was exhausted and fell asleep on the bed. He didn't dream all night. The next day, Su-chin also went to a new place to sell shakima. He would be almost done if he went to a few more places. The next step was to complete the order of Huimanchen and deliver a batch of hair soap. On the appointed day, Su-won and Jong-yu prepared the order of Huimanchen and took it to the county. They hired Lao Hongdo's ox cart and a basket of hair soap. When they arrived at the county, they first delivered shakima to Huimanchen through the back door. This was the rule. Delivery could only be done through the back door. The housekeeper paid the balance and actually paid her 13 taels, giving her an extra 1.5 taels of silver as a reward. Su-won couldn't possibly get away with silver, so she took it as a reward. After that, she went to the grocery store with Jong-yu to deliver soap. The proprietress hadn't seen Su-won for a long time and missed this god of wealth very much. Many people have asked for your hair soap several times, but I have not been able to sell them.
My door is almost broken.
My dear, why don't you make more at one time? She was asked this question every day, and she was annoyed by it. Some customers even complained. But she didn't know how to make it, so she had no choice. This hair soap requires too many materials, and some of the raw materials are not available this season. I can't do anything about the small quantity. Scarcity makes things expensive. Su-won insisted on limiting the purchase. Then you can make another batch of goat milk soap. It's too long to wait until after the new year. Seeing that there was no room for negotiation on the hair soap, the boss lady thought about trying to get some goat milk soap. Su-won thought about it and felt that she could make another 100 yuan dyed goat milk soap, and she would not make more. Then I'll give you another 100 yuan and send it to you in 7 days, but this is the last time this year. Okay, I'll do as you say. I'll get the money for you. The boss lady stopped bargaining when she saw that it was a good deal. 50 pieces of hair soap equals 15 taels, and this silver cannot be counted in the surplus of shakima. She will accompany Su-yun to the big market in 3 days, and Su-chin will also come to help. Su-yi will just stay at home to look after the house. Just prepare 200 portions of shakima to sell. After a few such markets, she will almost make enough money, and there will be some left over. Su-won actually wanted to hire a car to go to the state capital, pull a large number of shakima to sell at one time, and make a lot of money directly. But the road to the state capital is too far, and it takes almost a day to go back and forth. After going there, she has to stay overnight in the state capital, which is a bit troublesome. She bought flour and some missing ingredients, and beat dozens of kilograms of almond oil to go home, bought meat, bought ribs, and saw someone selling mutton, so she weighed a few kilograms. This mutton is quite expensive. It costs 13 coins per kilogram. Jong-yu worked for free again, and Su-won invited him to have a bowl of meat noodles as a reward. I've worked so hard, and you're just treating me to a bowl of noodles? Jong-yu complained, but his hands were mixing noodles consciously. There's nothing we can do about it. We're in the startup period now. Do you understand? That means the funds cannot be embezzled at will, and it's impossible to have a big meal for the time being. Su-won was afraid that he didn't understand, so she gestured to him with emotion, but Jong-yu was laughing. He was just joking, but she explained so seriously it was so cute. I understand. When you make a lot of money one day, I'll come to blackmail you again. The word blackmail was used very cleverly, which made Su-won nervous. No, if he came to blackmail people with his status, wouldn't her wallet be in danger? So, she cleared her throat and made a statement. Ahem. Let me tell you in advance, don't ask for more than 5 taels of silver. It's a small business, so please be gentle. Jong-yu laughed even more happily, a silent laugh, and the corners of his mouth never fell. Suddenly, he felt that such an ordinary bowl of noodles had become delicious. Okay, no more than 5 taels. That's about right. Su-won showed a satisfied expression and started to sip her flour. They would go to the tailor shop later to take the clothes they had ordered home, but because Jong-yu had to take a lot of things, the two of them first sent the purchased flour and oil to Lao Hongtu, and then returned to the city to get the clothes. Su-won also wanted to buy cloth to make winter clothes for her parents. Su's mother could make clothes herself, so she didn't need to find a tailor. Before, she was not at home, so Su-won had no choice but to find a tailor to make clothes. For many reasons, I believe Su's mother would be more willing to do it herself. 1. Soo-won wanted to give them a surprise and show her filial piety. She was sincere and not pretending. Another reason was that she didn't know the size of Sue's mother and father, so she could only buy cloth and buy cotton to let them make it themselves. 5 people each made 2 sets of thick clothes. When they came out of the tailor shop, Soo-won and Jong-yu each carried a lot. Let's go and give clothes to my second brother first. Soo-moo was in the county, so he gave him 2 sets of clothes first. Anyway, Jishan Hall was not far from here. Jong-yu saw that Soo-won's face was completely blocked by the clothes, and he didn't know if she could see the road clearly. He came forward and took 2 more pieces of clothes from her arms to himself, reducing her burden. Watch the road carefully. Let's go. This invisible little detail was so touching that Soo-won couldn't help but feel warm in her heart. Thank you. You're welcome. Soo-moo was just about to go home for a few days. He had been saving up some fake clothes and wanted to go back to see what was going on at home. When he was about to go out, he ran into Soo-won and Jong-yu, who came to give him clothes. He himself didn't know that Soo-won had made clothes for them. Soo-won, where did you get so many clothes? Soo-moo looked at her in confusion. These clothes looked brand new. Second brother, isn't it almost the new year? These clothes were made by my brothers and I when we went to get cloth a few days ago. We also made them for you. You are about the same size as my eldest brother, so I made them for you according to his size, but I didn't tell you. Now that they are done, go get them. It's just right to send them to you. I chose the color according to my opinion. I don't know if you like it or not. The color was chosen for him according to his temperament. In fact, there is no requirement for this kind of short gown. Wearing it is to keep warm and keep out the cold. It doesn't matter whether it looks good or not. Soo-moo grabbed all the clothes on her body, and Soo-won was instantly empty-handed. They were all tied with cloth strips, which was convenient to pick up, but Soo-won used both hands to hold them. Soo-moo doesn't have high requirements for clothes, as long as there is something to wear and it doesn't look so ghostly that people can't see it. It's all right, I like them all. Soo-moo was quite supportive. He didn't shy away, nor did he say that she was wasting money again. The money had been spent, and the work had been done. What's the point of saying those things? At a glance, it looked quite normal, nothing to pick on. The way to get along with the second brother is very simple, without so many twists and turns. He is a very direct person and doesn't like to say much nonsense. Where are you going, second brother? Soo-won bumped into him at the door. I'm going home. Fortunately, you came at the right time, otherwise I would have missed it. Jong-yu, do you want me to get you 2 more pieces? Soo-moo said, then turned to look at Jong-yu, seeing that he was holding clothes in both hands, ready to help him share. Jong-yu is now a tool for Soo-won. He is diligent and quiet, and has the self-cultivation of a qualified tool. No need, Dr. Soo, it's not a heavy object. Jong-yu politely refused. Soo-won went to a cloth shop opposite Jishan Hall and bought 2 pieces of cloth of different colors for Sue's mother, one in imperial color and one in lotus pink. At her age, she was not suitable for colorful clothes. It was better to wear something calm. Although these 2 colors were calm, they were not dull, which was just right for Sue's mother. As for Sue's father, he should choose dark gray and dark blue. As for cotton, buying 10 kilograms should be enough. There were also some ready-made clothes for sale in this cloth shop. There were also several skirts for girls hanging on the wall. The styles and colors were very playful. They were winter styles, cute and suitable for Soo-won's age. When Soo-won checked out, she looked at these clothes and tilted her head up. She couldn't hide her love in her eyes. Which girl doesn't love beauty? She also wants to dress beautifully, but now she has to work every day, so it's not convenient to wear such beautiful clothes. And the price is indeed a bit unattractive for her now. Seeing that she was looking at ready-made clothes, the shopkeeper took the initiative to explain the prices of these ready-made clothes. The girl is so pretty. These winter clothes are very suitable for her temperament. These small waistcoats are all made of fox fur. After wearing them, they are beautiful and warm. This style and pattern are also the most fashionable in Kyoto, but the price is a bit high, 35 taels per set. After hearing the price, Soo-won immediately dispelled her thoughts. This is called a bit high? A piece of clothing costs 35 taels. She didn't like it very much. To be honest, this style is rare in Qinghe County, and the color matching is also bright. It is indeed worn by young girls in their prime. And the material is not very good. It is sold at a high price under the name of Kyoto. Whether it is real fox fur is even more worth considering. Shopkeeper, I'll just take a look, not buy. Soo-won smiled harmlessly, and the emotions in her eyes changed quickly. After hearing the price, she changed from liking to being surprised, then to questioning, and finally returned to calm. Holding the cloth and cotton she bought, these big and small bags, Soo-moo's hands were instantly full of things. After leaving the cloth shop, the three of them went out of the city to go home. In addition to the three of them, the old Hongdo's ox cart was filled with food. Second brother, you came back at the right time today. I bought mutton. I can ask fourth brother to cook a hot pot to eat in the evening. Soo-yeon studied a hot pot, which is to say hot pot, so that mutton can be eaten in the evening. It's just that these 3 pounds of mutton, is it possible that they bought too little and it's not enough to eat? If she had known that the second brother was coming back, she would have bought 2 more pounds. Your fourth brother has figured out another weird way to eat it? Soo-moo was no longer surprised by this.
Well,
it's similar to salted meat, but this weather is suitable for eating something like this. It's warm, and I'll buy 2 pieces of tofu from the Liu family who grinds tofu in the village and take them back. Cut them into slices and eat them together. Along the way, Soo-won kept talking about the ways to eat that Soo-yeon had studied. He even used the soy sauce he made and added sugar to study the way to eat braised pork. Through Soo-won's improvement, it changed from slices of braised pork to pieces of braised pork, which was more classic. When we open a restaurant, we can use it as a signature dish. Soo-myun listened quietly, responding to her from time to time. Seeing her vivid description, her little mouth popping out beans, he couldn't help laughing with her. It seems that these brothers and sisters get along well at home. Passing by Grandma Kai's house, Xiao Chui was playing with a group of newly born puppies at the gate of her yard. She saw an ox cart going on the road, so she stood up and stretched her neck to see if it was Sister Soo-won and the others. When they got closer, it was really them because Soo-won's voice was easy to recognize, soft and sticky. Sister Won-won.
Xiao Kui shouted.
Several people in the car looked in Xiao Chui's direction, and Lao Hongtu subconsciously stopped the ox cart. What's wrong, Xiao Chui? Unknowingly, they had arrived at the door of Grandma Kai's house. It was time to buy eggs and see how many eggs they had stored so that they could take them all away. I have to go back to the village to collect eggs soon. The eggs at home are not enough. The demand is high now. Soo-won jumped off the ox cart. Xiao Chui bent down and picked up a white dog. Sister Won-won, do you have puppies? She wanted to give a puppy to Soo-won to thank her for always buying things from their house. Now her and Grandma's life is much better than before. Seeing such a cute puppy, Soo-won felt her heart melted. It should be said that when the dog was young, it was really cute, round and plump, and its ears were still flat. It is also necessary to keep a dog at home to watch the house. After all, it is now known that the family is doing business, and we are afraid that thieves will come to steal it. Sure. How much is the puppy? No money. It's for my sister. Xiao Chui shook her head. There were 4 puppies in this litter, only one was white, and she gave the one she liked the most to Soo-won. Grandma Kai heard the noise outside and walked out of the yard. When she heard that it was Soo-won's voice, she immediately smiled and came out with a stick. Xiao Chui hurried to help her. Soo-won is here, come in and sit down. No, Grandma Kai, I'm here to buy eggs. Give me all the eggs you have now. Soo-won didn't want to keep old Hong waiting for a long time, so she didn't go in. 20 this time. I'll give them to you. You've been buying a lot recently, and my chickens can't lay as many eggs as you do. Grandma Kai smiled from ear to ear and went back to the house to get the eggs. It can be seen that she was really happy. Soo-won took the eggs to the ox cart and asked her second brother to hold them to prevent them from being broken. She paid for the eggs and asked how much the puppy cost. She liked Xiao Bai very much and wanted to take it home, but she was embarrassed to ask Bai for it. Grandma Kai, how much is the puppy? I want to buy one back. Why do you want money? Xiao Chui thought of giving it to you. She said so a few days ago. We have been waiting for you for a long time. If you hadn't been doing business with our family, our life would not be easy. Don't always ask about money. It's too polite. The orphans and widows didn't have any land at home, so they lived on the eggs laid by these chickens. They wanted to express their kindness, and Suwon was helpless and warm-hearted, so she could only accept it. Okay, I won't be polite. She took Xiao Bai from Xiao Chui's hands, said hello to Grandma Kai, and left. Back on the ox cart, Su Mu and Jiang Yu were very interested in Xiao Bai, and they rubbed its head with their hands. Xiao Bai was also very well behaved, whimpering comfortably and humming. It's okay to raise a dog, it can guard the house. In the past, your fourth brother and Ye always asked for a dog, so Dad went to get them one. After raising it for a year, he lost it. Later, he got another one. Ye didn't know what she gave the dog to eat, and it choked. It was too small, so it couldn't be saved. Sumu saw the puppy and thought of some things in the past. Suwon felt a little sour when he heard him mention Guyu. Second brother, do you miss her? Sumu counted, and he hadn't seen Guyu for several months. Why should I miss her? She is living a good life now, and there is no need for us to worry. After all, you are our real sister, so don't compare yourself with her. What will happen to her in the future? The Gu family will make plans for her, and you only have us brothers to make plans for you. Don't worry, we brothers will plan for you and be your backers in the future. Su Mu is not a nostalgic person, but their relationship with Guyu cannot be changed overnight. When Guyu comes back in the future, they still call each other brother and sister. She is willing to recognize them as her brothers, and they will not reject them. But otherwise, they don't want to have anything to do with the Gu family. Su Mu is a sober person. He knows that the Gu family looks down on families like them. He is also a noble and upright person. He will not do those things that make himself bored. If Guyu doesn't come to find him, he won't take the initiative to find Guyu, and he won't be self-indulgent and think about her. It's okay for each of them to be well. When they met on the road, she called him second brother, and he was happy to agree. After hearing what he said, the sourness in Suwon's heart immediately disappeared. His words were enough. She didn't ask for much, just this. In fact, as long as Suwon in the original book didn't do those bad things to make them feel cold, they wouldn't stand by and watch her die, right? Now she has figured it out. She doesn't need to worry about Guyu taking her life in the future. As long as she doesn't take the initiative to provoke her, she can live her life well and protect this hard-earned family relationship. Hearing the conversation between the brother and sister, Jongyu suddenly leaned his head closer and said in a tone that she could hear, "In the future, I will also be your backer." Suwon turned her head and saw his sincere face. He said it seriously and was not joking. The big man took the initiative to be her backer. This is a good relationship. Suwon nodded quickly and smiled brightly. Okay. Jongyu saw her smile and felt a little excited in his heart, the kind of excitement he couldn't explain. He was still keen on rubbing Xiaobai's head. Since Xiaobai got on the ox cart, he has been teasing it and touching it. Suwon couldn't stand it anymore and stuffed Xiaobai into his arms. Jiangyu obviously didn't expect her to take this step. He was a little stunned. After all, touching with your hands is different from holding it in your arms. The puppy doesn't look dirty, but it rolls in the dirt every day. Jiangyu resisted for a few seconds, but after seeing Suwon smirk, he felt that he could accept it. He deliberately held the puppy in his arms and teased it, scratching its chin, and looking at Suwon from time to time, as if he was teasing Suwon. How could Suwon let him take advantage of her like this? So, she suddenly had an idea and made a hook gesture to Jiangyu. Don't get me wrong, her motives were very simple. Jiangyu didn't know what tricks she had up her sleeves, but he cooperated and came over, not too close, not too far, keeping a sense of propriety.
Come closer.
Suwon whispered, and Su Mu on the other side tilted his head to eat melons, not knowing what tricks they were going to play. Jiangyu thought for a second and couldn't guess her motives. The next second, a warm and soft little hand attached to his chin, gently scratched twice, making people's heart tremble. Good boy, it turned out that Suwon was teasing him like a puppy. This girl, although she looked well-behaved, actually had her thorns hidden under her fur, and she would not suffer any loss. Jiang Yu was angry and amused, laughing at himself for being outwitted by her. Su Wan's routine succeeded, showing off her pride, and even showing off her arrogance to her second brother. Su Mu shook his head helplessly and chuckled. What a little girl who has not grown up. When he said this, his tone was a little doting. It was just such a not-so-bright afternoon. There was not even the sun in the sky, and the sky was a little foggy. Except for the wind, there was nothing special. For Jiang Yu, the only special thing was that he was scratched by a little fox today. Back home, Su Mu moved the things of the brothers back to the room. Xiaobai was afraid that it would run around when it first came, so he simply kept it in the house. Su Wan was preparing to make soap and was going to go out to get a bundle of straw to make lye water. As soon as she went out, she saw He Jiaoxing running towards her, looking back every few steps, as if someone was chasing her. When she saw Su Wan, she seemed to see a savior, ran up to hold Su Wan's hand. Her eyes were full of desire. Looking at her appearance, her eyes were swollen from crying, and there were obvious slap marks on her face. What's wrong with you? Su Wan stabilized her body and asked her. But it was useless to ask. She was babbling. Su Wan couldn't understand a word. He could only see that she was very anxious. Jiaoxing, come back to me. Dezawa appeared with a few men and chased after her, scaring Jiaoxing to hide behind Su Wan. Seeing Dezawa getting closer and closer, she was almost desperate and grabbed Su Wan's arm tightly. Su Wan frowned because she hurt herself. Su Wan, please move aside first. Auntie will take Jiaoxing home. Dezawa was still thinking about her eldest brother being her son-in-law. Although she was very angry, she still spoke to Su Wan in a friendly manner. Auntie, what's wrong? What's the matter? Look how scared Jiaoxing is. If you have anything to say, just talk it out. Su Wan asked her with a smile. Don't hit a smiling person. It's just a family matter. I found a marriage for Jiaoxing, but she didn't want to. The man is very good. He is handsome, kind, and has a good family background. She didn't want to and ran away. Isn't this giving him face? Dezawa explained, and was about to go around Su Wan to pull Jiaoxing. Su Wan guessed it. She heard those aunties say by the river that their family found a lame old bachelor for He Jiaoxing. Jiaoxing is still young, and Sister Jiaolon hasn't married yet. She is not in a hurry, and it's not too late to wait for another 2 years. She deliberately brought up He Jiaolon. The older one hasn't married yet, so what's the matter with the younger one? You don't know, her sister already has a lover. The big jujube flower is still laying the groundwork. Su Mu heard the noise outside the yard and hurried out to check, but Jiang Yu couldn't show up. He was also alert in the next room. What's going on? Su Mu saw this scene and didn't know what happened, so he asked Su Wan. Second brother, Aunt Xiaohua wants to arrange a marriage for Jiaoxing, but Jiaoxing is not happy and refuses to go back. Su Wan told the truth. Su Mu couldn't interfere in these women's affairs, but seeing He Jiaoxing's pitiful appearance, he guessed that the other party was not a good man. At least she didn't like him herself. Aunt, you don't force Jiaolon when she has a lover, so why do you force Jiaoxing when she is not happy? Su Wan didn't want to meddle in other people's business, but now He Jiaoxing was holding her and wouldn't let go. She couldn't just let him get rid of her. As a woman, she could empathize with her and was ready to help her out, but it was impossible to expect her to take care of this matter. Dezawa's face froze when Su Wan asked her. Her eyes rolled, and then she began to act. Oh, you know Jiaoxing's situation. She is a mute. It's not easy to find a relative. Now she has found someone who doesn't despise her. Then I, as a mother, am planning for her, not harming her. Dezawa pretended to be embarrassed. Aunt found her, but it's the one that Aunt Zhao and the others said. The one who is nearly 30 years old and whose legs and feet are not very flexible. Su Wan's tone was quite gentle, not arrogant or impatient, as if he was chatting with her. He said it with this attitude, without offending people, and he could also stop them. As expected, Dezawa was choked up and didn't know how to explain for a moment. Her face was quite ugly, but she was trying hard to hold on. Unexpectedly, the gossip had reached Su Wan's ears. She was indeed in the wrong. Oh, how can it be as exaggerated as you say? I've said that Jiaoxing's situation is different. With her natural defects, she can only match this. Just treat her well. Dazawa was a little impatient. She also called several nephews at home to catch He Jiaoxing. The man was still waiting at home. She was anxious and afraid that the matter would fall through. After all, the man was willing to pay 30 taels of betrothal gifts. Suwon looked back at He Jiaoxing, and she shook her head vigorously. She was so unwilling that she was unwilling. If you didn't know, you would think that the man was a monster. How about this, and you go back first, let Jiaoxing stay here for a while, and when she calms down, I'll let her go back. Send people away first. It's not a good thing to be in a stalemate like this. She still has things to do. No, they're still waiting. This is not appropriate.
Dazawa said. Suwon didn't know what was going on.
He Jiaoxing kept holding her hand. It was supposed to be someone else's family affair. It was not appropriate for her to interfere too much. It was like a dog trying to catch a mouse. Although He Jiaoxing was very pitiful, she tried her best to speak for her. She really didn't know how to start this matter. Just when Suwon was in a state of panic, a young and slightly immature male voice appeared, with anxiety. Jiaoxing. Everyone looked in his direction and saw a thin man who looked no more than 16 or 17 years old. He was not tall, about 1.7 meters. When He Jiaoxing saw him, the tears in her eyes surged even more, and she felt aggrieved. He trotted all the way over and stood in front of Suwon and He Jiaoxing. His thin body showed full strength at this moment. Auntie, I am willing to marry Jiaoxing home. I hope you will agree. No one expected him to say such a sentence, and things took a turn for the better. Are you willing to marry Jiaoxing? But your family is so poor. What can you use to marry Jiaoxing? You are not interested in trying to get something for nothing. Dazawa looked at him with contempt, and her words were also sarcastic. She looked down on him just because he was poor. Aunt, what do you want me to agree to let Jiaoxing marry me? The boy was very sincere. Second brother, who is this? Suwon was confused. She had not been back for long, and the people in the village had not recognized her yet. At the east end of the village, the son of the Jiang family, Jiang Sheng. Su Mu told him the truth. Speaking of Jiang Sheng's family, it was also a sin. He lost his father when he was young, and his mother's health was not good. The family did not have farming, so they planted some land and raised some potatoes and corn. He was the only son in his family, and everything depended on him. He usually found some odd jobs in the surrounding villages to supplement the family income and treat his mother's illness. His family was also very poor. Because he had not eaten well and dressed well since he was a child, he was 17 years old now, but his height was not as tall and strong as other boys of the same age. Su Chun was an example. But the situation of the Su family was better than his family because they had a large population and a large labor force. Therefore, although they lived a tight life, Su's father and mother had never let the children go hungry. At this time, Dazawa began to make demands. We don't have so many rules in the countryside, but we still have to marry in a formal way, bring the betrothal gift to the door, ask the matchmaker to propose marriage, and match the horoscopes. Our Jiaoxing is now looking for a marriage, and the man is willing to pay a gift of 30 taels of silver, so you can't be less. At least you can't let our Jiaoxing lose face. Dazawa felt that her request was not excessive. Anyway, the standard was there. As long as she could get 30 taels, it didn't matter who she married. The man didn't consider the happiness of his daughter at all. It was a typical selling of his daughter, and he said it in a high-sounding way. Suwon despised this the most. Isn't this just forcing people to do things out of their control? Jiang Sheng didn't look like he could afford 30 taels of silver. Sure enough, when Jiang Sheng heard this request, a little despair appeared on his face. Auntie, our family can't afford so much silver. Can it be less? Fortunately, he didn't choose to give up after hearing the number, but chose to fight for it. You can't even take out 30 taels. Why do you want to marry our Jiaoxing? Won't she suffer if she follows you? The disgust on Dazawa's face was not concealed. Aunt, why don't you ask Jiaoxing if she is willing? Maybe she is willing, and they love each other.
Shuwan interrupted.
Marriage and living together are not just about mutual consent. Love can make you full, but who has ever tried to eat a full meal with love alone? Soo-won, this is our family affair. I'm sorry to make you laugh. We won't be annoying here. If there is anything, we will go back and talk. You should do what you should do. Dazawa obviously felt that Soo-won was meddling in her business. She was unhappy, but she still held back her temper and continued to talk to her in a friendly manner. She pulled He Jiaoxing hard, and He Jiaoxing looked at Soo-won, hoping that she could help her. But Soo-won was powerless, and she was not doing it right. Jiangsheng wanted to help, but she didn't know where to start, so she could only worry. "Aunt, you can take it slow. I'll find a way. Don't force Jiaoxing." Jiaoxing also nodded vigorously in agreement. Tears falling like money, her mother pulled her hard. She had no choice but to hold Jiangsheng's hand. Dazawa was angry. "He Jiaoxing, do you still have shame? You are pulling and tugging with a man in broad daylight. You are shameless. Our He family still has shame. Your sister still has shame." She twisted the flesh on He Jiaoxing's hands and waist, twisting fiercely. Seeing that the situation was getting out of control, many villagers came to watch the excitement and pointed and talked. Soo-won was close to the center of the war and was accidentally bumped. Sumu quickly held her hand and took her to stand a little further away. Sumu felt that it was really a scene. Why did they have to make a scene in front of their house? If they didn't, they would think it was their family's matter. "Are you okay?" He looked Soo-won up and down and asked her with concern. Soo-won shook her head to indicate that it was okay. Many aunties came to rescue her one after another, pulled Dazawa away, and told her not to continue beating He Jiaoxing and asked her to talk it out. At this time, He Jialon and her father, Village Chief He, also appeared. Village Chief He came over with a look of disappointment on his face and said to Dazawa fiercely, "What are you doing? Aren't you ashamed enough? Come back with me. Mom, they have all left. You should take my sister home first. We can talk about anything when we get home." He Jialon came forward and hugged her sister. Soo-won almost believed her gentle and considerate look. Is she so good at acting? If I hadn't seen her push someone that day, I would have thought she was concerned about her sister and that the two sisters had a good relationship. He Jiaoxing kept resisting, breaking free from her sister's arms and hiding behind Jiangsheng. "What, the person left? Why didn't you stop him?" Zhao Hua's loud voice was filled with anger, and more of it was heartache that 30 taels of silver would go down the drain. Logically speaking, their family conditions were not bad, but it was as if they had never seen silver, or maybe it was that Zhao Hua was just greedy. "If the person wants to leave, there is no way to stop him, mother, if you ask me. Let's do this first. Don't force your sister." He Jialon pulled her mother's sleeve and acted coquettishly, continuing to establish her character. Her acting skills are quite good. The same person has different fates, the same daughter, but the treatment she received is completely different. "You shameless person, still hiding, come home with me. Now you have your wish, are you happy?" Zhao Hua pulled He Jiaoxing, the action was rude. This time, He Jiaoxing did not resist, and followed her cooperatively, probably because she heard that the man had left, so she relaxed her vigilance. "Annie, please think about the matter between Jiaoxing and me again." Seeing that things were turning around, Jiangsheng continued to fight for himself. Because so many people were watching, Dazawa's attitude was much more restrained, but she still insisted. "I tell you, none of the conditions I proposed can be missing, otherwise this will not work." After that, she dragged He Jiaoxing away, without looking back. Village Chief He must have felt ashamed, so he kept his head down, sighed, and finally followed him. Only He Jialon was left. She came over and took Soo-won's hand, with an apologetic look on her face. "I'm sorry, Sister Soo-won. I made you laugh." Soo-won silently took her hand back, smiled back at her, and said perfunctorily, "It's okay, it's okay. Second brother Soo is back too. I'm really sorry to have troubled you just now." She turned and looked at Sumu again. The men in the Soo family are all good. Anyway, He Jialon played the trick to the end and left away everywhere. "It's not a big deal. We didn't do anything. Come on, Soo-won, let's go back." And Jiang Sheng, do you want to come in and sit for a while?
Sumupuld Suvan to go home.
Seeing Jiang Sheng standing there blankly, he frowned and asked him to come in and sit for a while to calm down. Only He Jialan was not called. She was a little embarrassed and found an excuse to leave. Well, I have to go home to see a few things. I'll leave first. Jiang Sheng was distraught and felt that most of his energy had been drained away. Facing the girl he liked, the feeling of powerlessness was understandable. No, second brother Su. Thank you for your kindness. I won't bother you anymore. My mother is waiting for me at home. Jiang Sheng didn't have the heart to think about anything else now. You said, if it was a matter of a few taels of silver, Suwon would really be happy to help him, but the main thing is that 30 taels is really a bit too much. She also saved for a long time to save 40 taels of silver. With so many people in the family, she had to leave some security, just in case there was a minor illness or disaster, or something else happened, so she would not be left empty-handed. But looking at Jiang Sheng's thin back, Suwon felt particularly sympathetic to her. If she had a fortune, she would have helped him. After all, it can be seen that he was somewhat sincere to He Jiaoxing. Sometimes, it's not that we are hard-hearted, but that we ourselves are living a mess. So how can we save the suffering of the world? Even if we help others, there must be a limit. You have tried your best. Don't feel guilty.
Sumupetit Suanes shoulder.
Seeing her frowning and looking at Jiang Sheng's back, he thought she was blaming herself for not being able to help. She had tried her best to help He Jiaoxing just now, and he saw it. Just like he treated patients and saved lives, doctors charge for treating patients because they also have to support their families, and they also charge for the herbs they prescribe. There is no contradiction between doing good deeds and collecting the due rewards, so he did not refuse the consultation fee returned by Jiang Yu and only charged within his ability. Second brother, I don't feel guilty. I just sympathize with Jiang Sheng's helplessness.
Shuwan explained.
She is not a saint who steps on the golden lotus. She can't stand the suffering of the world. She would rather suffer herself than others. Helping people should also be within an appropriate range, just like her and Grandma Kai. Taking care of her business is also a way to help her. She saved Jiang Yu out of selfishness, which she did not deny. She just wanted to curry favor with him. Moreover, she and Jiang Yu had a legitimate trading relationship. She saved him, not for free, and he paid her. Then I was overthinking. By the way, what were you going to do when you went out just now? Su Mu smiled and changed the subject. Go get some straw to burn for ashes.
Shuwan answered truthfully.
Wait at home, I'll go. After saying that, Su Mu left without waiting for Su Wan's answer.
Shuwan smiled helplessly.
It was just right for her to go collect eggs. There were almost no eggs left at home to make shakima. When she went back to the house to find a basket, Jiang Yu came out of the room and stood behind her without anyone noticing. Does it hurt? He suddenly said these 3 words, which scared Su Wan. Ouch, you scared me. What do you mean it hurts? Why are you walking silently? Su Wan patted her heart. What happened to your hand? Jiang Yu stared at her wrist and asked. Su Wan lowered her head, and it was true, because He Jiaoxing was very nervous just now, and she grabbed her especially hard. She had been spoiled for more than 10 years, and her skin was very delicate. At this moment, there were some obvious red marks on her wrist. Jiang Yu also noticed carefully that when Su Wan tiptoed to get something, a part of her arm was exposed, and he happened to see it. It's okay, it was just an accident, it doesn't hurt. I'm going to the village to collect eggs, do you want to come with me? Su Wan carried her small basket and made a sincere invitation. Jiang Yu couldn't refuse at all and agreed directly. Let's go. He also saw that she really had nothing to do, so he didn't ask any more questions. Before the 2 of them went out, they found a rope to tie Xiaobai up, for fear that it would run away. Now, when Jiang Yu sees this dog, he can remember the scene of Su Wan teasing him on the horse, which is lingering. The 2 walked around the village, and 1 basket was not enough. Almost every household in the village had eggs to collect. In the end, they borrowed 2 baskets to carry them. They collected 120 eggs. The meaning of Su Yu's existence was to act as a bag carrier. In the afternoon, When Su Chun and his friends returned home, they found that there was another member in the family. Especially Su Yun. He just couldn't let go of Xiao Bai. He had been playing with it since he got it back, which showed that he really liked animals. Today, the three brothers went out to sell goods and made a total profit of 15 taels of silver. Counting the existing ones, they saved up nearly 60 taels in total. Because of the purchase of raw materials and the need to pay wages to Su Chun and his friends, there were so many left in the end. After the Chinese New Year, they almost saved up enough. Su Yun felt that the name Xiao Bai was not loud enough, so he changed its name to Wankai, which was in line with the current situation. He hoped that it could really bring wealth. Now the Su family's courtyard is getting more and more lively, with chickens, dogs, and rabbits. Today is also the last day to go to the countryside to sell goods. Starting tomorrow, they don't have to carry their loads to go from village to town. They just need to wait for the market. And the clothes that Su Wan made for them. Su Yun couldn't wait to put on his 2 sets, and asked Su Wan if they looked good, like a colorful peacock. How about it, Su Wan? Do I look good in them? He put on the new clothes and ran to Su Wan to show up, with an expression asking for praise. It looks good. 4th brother, looks the best. Su Wan replied to him, very perfunctorily. Seeing this, Su Yun looked at her unhappily and complained. Su Wan, can you be more serious? You are too perfunctory. In fact, it's not that Su Wan is not serious, but the style of the clothes is very ordinary. There's no pattern, simple, it looks nothing new except new. After putting on this outfit, 4th brother immediately became dignified, with sharp eyebrows and bright eyes, and a handsome appearance. He is so handsome and unparalleled in the world. Now she couldn't say that she was perfunctory. As a result, Su Yun was even more speechless. What are you talking about? It's too fake. Can you be more real? If you want to hear the truth, there is no change, but 4th brother is born in good shape, so he looks good in anything. Su Wan evaluated according to his requirements, without any false feelings. The 2 words okay hit Su Yun's forehead hard, causing Su Yi and Su Chin to laugh unkindly. Forget it. Why did he ask Su Wan these questions? It was useless to ask, and he made himself angry to death. However, the Su brothers haven't worn new clothes for a long time. They are sincerely happy in their hearts. The clothes padded with cotton are warm to wear. In the evening, they had mutton hot pot. Su Yun sliced the mutton into slices and then used the ribs to make a soup base. He pulled cabbage from the vegetable garden and also had tofu cubes and smoked meat cut into half pieces to cook together. A group of people gathered around the table. The pot was steaming, and the atmosphere was full. Several brothers picked up food for Su Wan from time to time, asking her to eat more and to be careful of the heat. Su Wan finally enjoyed the feeling of being spoiled by her family. She had been lacking love since she was a child, and her heart was in turmoil. Her nose was sour. Even Jiangyu came to join in the fun, carefully preparing to pick up a piece of tofu in Su Wan's bowl, but was discovered by the sharp-eyed Su Yun. Why are you picking up food for Su Wan too? He knocked Jiangyu's chopsticks away with the tip of his chopsticks. The other 3 brothers also glanced at Jiangyu with their eyes. Su Wan was sandwiched between them, and under the mist, she looked weak and helpless. Jiangyu cleared his throat and explained in a serious tone, ahem. I think it's not good to eat meat all the time. It's better to eat it with vegetables. Su Mu looked at him with scrutiny. Su Chen looked at him with confusion. Su Yun looked at him with anger, wishing to tear him with his eyes, and Su Yi looked at him with suspicion. Jiangyu, Su Wan is not even 14 years old. Su Yun's words sounded so familiar, and he felt like he had seen them before. To him, Jiangyu had bad intentions towards his sister. Otherwise, it would be too unruly for him, a man from outside, to pick up food for a girl who is still in the boudoir. It was not allowed. I know. Did 4th brother misunderstand something? Su Wan and I are innocent. I just picked up a dish for her. Nothing else. Jiangyu continued to eat calmly. His movements were elegant, his tone was slow, and it seemed that he really had no ulterior motives. You called me 4th brother again. You are not allowed to. Hearing him, a man 3 years older than him, calling him 4th brother, Su Yun's firecrackers finally exploded in impotent rage. It's just a respectful title. If fourth brother doesn't like it, I won't call you that. Jiang Yu knew how to make people angry. He danced crazily in Su Yun's minefield, and he looked like nothing happened, not guilty at all. The other party, Su Wan, wanted to bury her head in the bowl. It was none of her business. She was still young, and she didn't understand. Besides, Jiang Yu was sick. Why did he pick up food for himself for no reason? It could easily cause misunderstanding. Brother Jiang Yu, are you going to spend the new year at our house this year? Su Yi, who looked the most innocent but the most sinister, asked his question in a gentle tone and with a smile on his face. On the surface, there was no problem and he was quite polite, but in fact he was ordering him to leave. I'll leave after the New Year's Day, and I'll have to bother you for a while. When Jiang Yu said this, he deliberately glanced at Su Wan, who was trying to stuff herself into a pufferfish with food, so she didn't receive this look. Oh, then will it be difficult for us to meet again in the future? Su Yi continued to output. It's good that we can't meet each other, so there's no way to make any plans.
It's my honor to meet you.
If I have nothing to do in the future, I will come back to visit you often. Jiang Yu smiled harmlessly, 1 against 4, and he was not at all inferior. This was just a small scene, and he often encountered a situation where he was surrounded by enemies. Humph, that's not necessary. Su Yun gritted his teeth and said this, then stuffed a mouthful of meat into his mouth to fill his dissatisfaction. He endured it anyway. It was only a month who asked them to collect money. However, Su Chen didn't embarrass Jiang Yu because they were all fellow brothers. Su Mu didn't say anything, but just continued to add dishes to Su Wan's bowl silently. It seemed as if he was just making a fuss. Everyone will be at home to rest tomorrow, so no one is in a hurry to go to bed. Su Wan was still making goat milk soap when it was dark and asked Su Chen to buy 2 cans of goat milk. Tonight, she finally put on new clothes and she no longer had to wear Guyu's leftovers. She would make 2 sets of clothes to change into when she made money. Su Wan thought that she should make a lot of money by selling shikima in the state capital. After the new year, she planned to expand the market for goat milk soap to the state capital and make a lot of money. She told Su Yun and the others about this idea, and they agreed with both hands and feet. When the time comes, we will rent a carriage, make more shikima and sell it in the state capital. The state capital is so prosperous and there are many people, it will definitely sell well. Su Yun has already started counting the money on his fingers. Yeah, I think so too. I'll go with you guys to have a look. I haven't been to the prefecture yet. The prefecture is equivalent to the city. It must be very prosperous. She wanted to know what the difference is compared to the streets of Qinghe County. It shouldn't be. Su Wan, you haven't been to the prefecture either? Su Yun felt a little strange. Logically speaking, the Gu family's business is so big. Su Wan should have been there. Every New Year's Day, there is a lantern festival in the prefecture, and some families of landlords in the county like to join in the fun. Su Wan seemed to have forgotten that she used to be the daughter of the Gu family and blurted out without paying attention to these details. It seems that I have been there, but that was when I was very young. I don't remember. Su Wan made up a random reason. Su Yun also believed it and stopped asking more questions. Then he said, every New Year's Day, the prefecture will hold a lantern festival. I heard it's fun. You can guess lantern riddles, release flower lanterns, and even release sky lanterns. I want to see it. The boy's eyes were full of yearning. Then on New Year's Day, our family will go to the provincial capital to watch the lantern festival. Su Wan said honestly. She also liked to join in the fun. Traveling back to the time in the books, this is ancient times and she is very interested in ancient culture, so she is curious about everything and wants to see it. Besides, it can't be a wasted trip, and it would be so boring if she doesn't join in the fun. Speaking of going to the provincial capital to watch the lantern festival, Su Yun's eyes lit up. Really? But will my parents agree? Su Yun thought about how, from childhood to adulthood, their family would automatically avoid all opportunities to join in the fun, because joining in the fun costs money. We earn our own money. So what's wrong with that? When the time comes, we'll charter a car and go together as a family. We have to see the world. Ask eldest brother to go along, so that he can relax before the spring examination and not be too nervous. That's why fourth brother, You have to work hard, earn money, and take us to the provincial capital to play. All the expenses will be paid by fourth brother. Soo-won began to encourage Soo-yun while setting a trap for him. Also, fourth brother, we can just do whatever we like, don't have any scruples, think about the consequences before doing it, and be prepared. As long as we have a clear conscience, and we're not doing anything bad, I believe that when the time comes, we will use the money we have earned through hard work to take our parents out to play, and they will be happy and proud of us. What Soo-won said was very right, which made Soo-yun more motivated, and felt that his hard work in the past few days was nothing. It's great to have such a sister who can always give you good advice and timely encouragement. Soo-yun thought about how he felt ashamed of Soo-won's words and deeds at the beginning. Just because he couldn't accept this sudden change, he hurt Soo-won's heart and scrupulously. In fact, those had nothing to do with her, but his own selfishness. Struggling in his heart, Soo-yun had a constipated expression on his face and organized his words in his mind.
Soo-won.
What's wrong? Fourth brother. Soo-won felt his voice was like a deflated ball. He stood up suddenly, stood straight in front of Soo-won, and bowed to Soo-won. She thought he was stimulated by something. I'm sorry, Soo-won. I apologize for all the things I said and did to you before. I didn't know you well enough. I presumptuously speculated about you and always said things that hurt your heart. I was wrong. Please forgive me. He closed his eyes and said all these words in one go, and he felt relieved after he finished speaking. In fact, Soo-won never really cared about him at all. In her opinion, Soo-yun was just an ordinary rebellious teenager in middle school. In modern times, there are many people of his age who are more rebellious than him. He was just harsh in words, but his heart was good. Just look at what he said that day, he said. Although it is said that a woman must obey her husband after marriage, a woman does not necessarily have to know how to cook. If a man really loves his wife, it doesn't matter whether she can cook or not. It can be seen that he has a positive outlook on life and can feel sorry for others. Fourth brother, I forgive you, but if you feel bad, just wash the dishes as well. Soo-won said to him jokingly. She was not angry in the first place, and she was surprised that he would take the initiative to apologize to her, because Soo-yun was a person who said one thing and did another. Okay, I'll go now.
Soo-yun의 palagyaisya sincerely.
Originally, he had already cooked dinner, and it was definitely not his responsibility to wash the dishes, but now Soo-won gave an order, and he went immediately. Soo-chun and Soo-ee all found it funny that Soo-yun was controlled by Won-won. It's not easy. Fourth brother actually bowed his head. From what I know about him, he clearly knows that he is wrong, but he will only slowly change his attitude towards you and will never bow his head to admit his mistakes. Sister Won-won is really amazing. Fourth brother is convinced. As Soo-yun's twin brother, Soo-ee is the most qualified to express his opinion. And Soo-moo also smiled with relief, thinking it's not easy. The child has grown up. Jeong-yu listened to what Soo-won said, and his heart was also full of emotion. Yes, just do whatever you want to do, consider the consequences before doing it, and have a clear conscience. Just this one sentence actually indirectly enlightened him. Jeong-yu couldn't help but smile indifferently, and then looked at Soo-won, who was smiling brightly. An inexplicable emotion had quietly grown in his heart, and his eyes became soft. He thought that it was because of Soo-won's bright personality, her attitude towards doing things, and her confidence that he was attracted to her. She is really special and different. But at the same time, he also silently remembered many details in his heart. Later, Soo-won had made 100 pieces of goat milk soap that he promised to the grocery store owner. It was placed in a dry and ventilated place to dry. The weather was bad in winter, so it would take a few more days before it could be used. Soo-moo stayed at home for 2 days and then returned to Jishan Hall to work. As soon as he arrived, he met an acquaintance, who turned out to be the old man who had given him the books before. It was also with the knowledge in these 2 books that he was able to cure Jeong-yu's poison. The old man had gray hair on his temples and a long beard. He was over 60 years old, fat, and looked quite kind. He was sitting on a chair in Jishan Hall drinking tea, stroking his beard from time to time. He didn't come here to see a doctor, but just waited for someone. Moreover, The guys in Jishan Hall were very polite to him. As soon as Sumu entered the door, he recognized him at first sight. He had been thinking that it would be great if he could meet the old gentleman again. He must thank him in person for giving him such a good book, which benefited him a lot. "Old sir, is that you?" Sumu, who had such a calm personality, could not help but become excited. When it came to his field and hobbies, he was full of respect. "Here you are, you must be Sumu." The old gentleman was not surprised to see him and smiled kindly. But what surprised Sumu was that the old gentleman actually recognized him and knew his name. "Sir, do you know my name?" "Yes, I just asked the guys in the hall, and I heard that you are a good kid. Not only are you studious and curious, but you are also very steady in your daily work." The old gentleman looked Sumu up and down. "Now it seems that this child has good character and appearance." "Sir, you are too kind. I am in my position, and it is my duty to do a good job in the pharmacy. As for being diligent and curious, I am grateful that Dr. Lin thinks highly of me and is willing to teach me the knowledge of pharmacology, so I will take it seriously." At that time, he was already 17 years old, and his younger brothers had grown up, so there was no need for so many people to do the farm work. He wanted to find a job to supplement the family income, and then he found the job as a handyman in Jishan Hall. Dr. Lin of Jishan Hall discovered his keen sense of smell and thought he was a good candidate for medical studies, so he promoted him to an apprentice and taught him pharmacology. After hearing Sumu's answer, the old gentleman nodded with satisfaction. "Your words and deeds are appropriate. You are humble and polite. Lin Shanxiang has a good eye." The Lin Shanxiang mentioned by the old gentleman is Dr. Lin of Jishan Hall, who is also the owner of Jishan Hall. "You are too kind." Sumu was embarrassed to be praised by an old gentleman. "Haha, I never flatter people randomly. If everyone says bad things about you, then I naturally won't say these things. If one person thinks you are good, then you may not really be good, but if everyone thinks you are good, then you must be extraordinary." The old gentleman smiled and stroked his beard. Sumu scratched his head embarrassedly, and then he bowed to the old gentleman seriously and earnestly. "I don't know your name, but I want to thank you for the book, which has benefited me a lot. Every time I have something I don't understand, it's thanks to the book you gave me that I can suddenly understand it. Have you finished reading the book?" The old gentleman asked him with a smile. Sumu nodded and continued to bow. "No need to be polite. At the beginning, I also saw that you have some talent, so I gave you the book. Since you have finished reading it, then I will test you. Are you willing?" The old gentleman wanted to test him, which meant that he was also a medical student. Sumu was of course willing. Learning is endless, and only by asking for advice with an open mind can we make progress. Of course I am willing. If there are any shortcomings in my opinions, please feel free to enlighten me. Okay. Follow me to the backyard. Don't take up space in the front hall and delay the patient's consultation. The old man stood up and went to the backyard of Jishan Hall with ease.
Sumu looked at Dr. Lin.
He had to work today, but he didn't want to miss such a good opportunity. So he wanted to ask Dr. Lin to give him some time. Unexpectedly, before he could speak, Dr. Lin looked at him with a smile and took the initiative to say, "Go ahead. The front hall is not needed for the time being." So Sumu followed the old man to the backyard. The old man had already sat down in the yard. There were good tea and snacks in the yard, which showed that he was familiar with Dr. Lin and was a distinguished guest of Jishan Hall. "Young man, sit down." The old man asked him to sit down. "Grandpa, who are you embarrassing so early in the morning?" Sumu had just sat down when a young girl's voice suddenly came into his ears. He turned his head and saw a young girl in a goose yellow cotton skirt walking briskly with her skirt lifted. The girl had picturesque eyebrows, red lips, and white teeth, and was beautiful and playful. She should be 2 years older than Suwon. Maybe girls in their prime years all look the same. Because he has a younger sister at home, Sumu looked at her a few more times, then moved his eyes away and lowered his head slightly. "You girl, you are so sharp-tongued. How am I embarrassing you?" The old man looked at his granddaughter. His tone and expression were very doting. The girl's attention at the moment was not on his grandfather, but she tilted her head to look at Sumu, her eyes full of inquiry. Sumu felt her gaze and subconsciously looked up. The two sights met. After being stunned, the girl blushed quickly and lowered her head guiltily. Okay, Grandpa, I want to test this young man. Don't interrupt me. The old man got back to the point. Business was more important.
Got it, Grandpa.
The girl answered obediently. After that, the old man began to give Sumu questions, all of which were knowledge from the two books. Some were related to detoxification, and some were related to the medicinal materials in the books, its pharmacology, side effects, and growth environment. Sumu answered them one by one fluently. The old man was very satisfied. He kept stroking his beard and nodding, and his eyes looked at Sumu with more and more appreciation. After that, he asked someone to bring a lot of medicinal materials and pills and asked Sumu to blindfold himself and identify them only by smell. If he was still admiring before, then after seeing Sumu's talent, his eyes turned into joy and he almost couldn't suppress his joy. Finally, the old man asked his granddaughter to get a few books and give them to Sumu. Child, these are a few books that I have compiled over the years of practicing medicine. They record all kinds of difficult and complicated diseases. They are also what I have encountered and learned in my life. You take these books back and read them carefully. I will come to you next time when I am free. I hope you can surprise me again. The old man still has one last test waiting for him, which depends on how deep Sumu's learning and acceptance ability is. Moreover, it is the end of the year, and many things will have to wait until next year. Sumu was flattered, but he took these books with his yearning for medical skills and regarded them as treasures. On the day of the big market, Su Chen, Su Yun, and Su Wan took 200 portions of shaki ma to the market to set up a stall. There are many people going to Yengao to go to the market today, and Lao Hongtu has to go in 2 trips. Su Wan and her 3 siblings caught the first trip. Su Yi and Jiang Yu stayed at home to look after the house. There must be no one to take care of the livestock at home. Today is the big market, and it is really not easy to find a suitable stall. There were so many people. People from all over the country came to the market, including residents from the county. The whole market was packed with people who came to buy New Year goods. It was not easy to find a place to set up the stall. As soon as the stall was opened, there were already customers. It was all thanks to Su Yun and his friends who went from village to village. They made their reputation a little better and saved the trouble of shouting loudly on the street. After going to so many villages, there must be many people who have eaten shikima. As long as you like it, you will remember it. Business is very good today. They don't need to promote it. Customers keep coming. This one buys one, that one buys two, and everyone can try it at will. For this reason, many people are willing to support them. Soon, almost half of the goods were sold. Su Yan was responsible for getting the goods for them. Su Wan was responsible for collecting the money, and Su Chen maintained order. The 3 siblings cooperated well. In the process, they also received a big order. Lu Yuanwai's family in the north of the city wanted to marry a daughter-in-law and ordered 200 shikima, which would be delivered in 10 days. It is said that they were recommended by the Hor family, signed the order and paid the deposit, and the business was taken over. The birthday banquet of Mr. Huo was very successful that day, and shikima was widely praised. At the end of the day, 200 shikima were sold out, and 28 taels of silver were sold. With the 15 taels of deposit from the Lu family, the total was 43 taels. Before going back, I have to buy materials. My parents will be back the day after tomorrow. Su Wan plans to buy more meat, 2 chickens, and 2 fish to take back. Fish can be bought at the fish stall in the market, and chickens can be caught by passing by Grandma Kai's house. There are also eggs. The demand is too great, and the consumption is too large according to the proportion, but they are indispensable. Tomorrow, I have to go to the nearby villages to collect them all, and collect as many as I can. There is another market in half a month, and there are 2 more markets before the end of the year. The new year is half a month after the first day of the lunar year. Going to the state capital to sell shikima is to choose before the first day of the lunar year, just in time to watch the Lantern Festival together. This business is sure to make money. After the market was over, seeing that it was still early, Suwon went to the bookstore and wanted to buy a few books on flood control and drought prevention. She wanted to send these books to her eldest brother so that he could take a good look at them and have a general idea. However, there were very few books of this kind, and Suwon could hardly find a book about natural disasters even after searching almost the entire bookstore. In other words, flood control has always been unprecedented and unparalleled, and no one can eliminate it from the root. But according to the knowledge Suwon learned in later generations, she still understood a little bit. After browsing the entire bookstore in vain, Suwon had to buy some food and went to find her eldest brother. Soo-yeon and Soo-chin thought she was visiting the bookstore to buy books for her eldest brother, but they just didn't find what they wanted. After that, Suwon bought half a roast chicken, some dried fruits, and 2 servings of shakima, and then went to Jonghyun Academy. Since there was no way to show him a book, she could only lead the topic to this aspect. When she came to Jonghyun Academy, she went in alone again, and her 2 brothers were waiting outside. This time, Suwon happened to catch up with Soo Jing, who didn't have class. She was waiting for him in the Huichin Pavilion. Soo Jing came over almost immediately after hearing that Suwon came to see him. Won, why are you here? Soo Jing was very happy to see his sister coming. During the years he was in the academy, few people from his family came to see him. Brother, you have worked hard in studying. I came to give you some delicious food and report the recent situation at home. Suwon pushed all the food she bought for him in front of him. Won, why did you buy so much food again? I don't usually like to eat snacks. You come to see your brother, and he is very happy. Why spend money? Brother, this is bought with the money earned by the 4th brother. He invited you to eat. Suwon explained. Hearing that Soo-yeon made money, Soo Jing became curious. Tell me, what tricks did your 4th brother come up with again? Can he make money? Obviously, Soo Jing didn't believe it. Suwon told Soo Jing everything about their recent Shakima business, including the fact that his parents would quit their jobs and go home the day after tomorrow. Soo Jing couldn't help laughing when he heard the end, laughing at how many ideas these brothers and sisters had. In other words, the idea was yours, and you taught them this knack. Soo-yeon was the one who did the hard work, and he still had to pay you.
It was indeed like that.
Although she was the one who came up with the idea and helped him work, they also got paid, so it wasn't for nothing. Yes, that's right. As of today, 4th brother has saved almost 80 taels of silver, excluding the silver he spent. Even me, 3rd brother, and 5th brother have earned almost 20 taels of silver in total. You are really smart. How do you know so many ideas to make money? We, as brothers, are far less capable than you. Soo Jing really sighed that Suwon's brain was really good and most importantly, she knew a lot and could speak and do things. In her opinion, 100 or 80 taels of silver could be easily earned. Brother is also very capable. Come back and test us to become the top scholar in the future. All of ours are just small tricks. Suwon began to lead the topic to the imperial examination. Won, you flatter me too much. How can you get the top scholar just by wanting to? Soo Jing was still modest. He did not dare to praise himself to such a high position. However, he has been working hard towards this goal. Only the top scholar has real talent and knowledge, and is the recognition of his hard work and studying for so many years. The runner-up has to be inferior to the top scholar, and the 3rd scholar has to be of good character and appearance. He does not want others to say that he is just a show-off with nothing on the surface. Brother, you will definitely be able to do it. By the way, how confident are you about the palace examination? Suwon continued with the routine. I am still confident of entering the palace examination, but I can't guarantee that I will be in the top 10 of the Jinshur exam. The current emperor is extremely talented, and every year he sets questions that are difficult for students. I don't know if the questions next year will be easier. Before Suwon could say this, Soo Jing said it himself, and his expression instantly became extremely nervous, which showed that this was also what he was worried about. The provincial examination had passed, and he was also confident of the metropolitan examination, but he was a little unsure about the final palace examination. In his term, the questions in the palace examination were the most difficult, and they were about flood control. According to the rules, Su Jing is now a Jiren, but the documents have not been issued yet, so he is still a scholar. He ranked second in this provincial examination, but when this year's imperial examination is over, whether he passes the Jinsha exam or not, his family will be exempted from taxes based on his title of Jiren, and he will also receive 2 taels of subsidy silver plus 5 dough of rice every month. It is precisely because of this that He Jialon's family has completely set their sights on Su Jing. Then, Big Brother, have you ever thought about what questions the emperor will ask? Su Wan continued to ask him. Su Jing did not hide anything and told her his thoughts truthfully. According to the questions in previous years, the questions are either policy essays or poems and essays. The current emperor loves poems and essays. Students all say that this year's exam is more likely to be about poems and essays. Su Wan nodded knowingly and said his thoughts naturally. Big Brother, I don't know whether I should say something or not. Women should not discuss politics. This is punishable by death, but since it concerns Big Brother's future, I still want to say a few more words. Su Wan deliberately moved to Su Jing's side and whispered to him. After all, what she was going to say next was about political affairs. In this feudal and rigid era, it was taboo for women to say these things. Su Jing also realized that what she was going to say was not something that could be heard by others, but Su Wan said it was about his future, and based on the few times he and Su Wan had been together, she was not a reckless person, and he believed that she was not groundless. Wan, please speak softly. Su Jing even looked around to make sure no one was eavesdropping. With his elder brother's permission, Su Wan began to speak frankly. Brother, in my opinion, why don't we make 2 plans, policy essays and poetry? You have to bet on either question. As for poetry, I believe it is not a problem for you, but as for policy essays, you have to think about it carefully. It's better to be safe than sorry. I heard that there are frequent floods in many places in our Jin state. The emperor is very worried. He often can't sleep at night because he can't get a good policy essay to deal with it. He is furious in the court. I thought, if the emperor wants to collect good strategies in this year's palace examination, he will ask questions related to flood control. Brother, you are not completely unprepared. Moreover, even if the emperor doesn't ask this question, if you enter the official career in the future, you will inevitably share the emperor's worries. It is also beneficial to accumulate more good strategies for flood control. After listening to this, Su Jing's expression instantly became serious. What Su Wan said made so much sense. From some aspects, it is indeed very likely that this year's policy topic will be about flood control. He has also heard recently that the people in the Shuanhe River Basin are suffering. In recent years, floods have occurred almost every year. The officials sent to control the water only know how to fill in the gaps, and they can't solve the problem fundamentally. However, disasters continue and taxes are not reduced, resulting in the Shuanhe River Basin being very barren. It rains a lot in spring. At the beginning of the year, Qinghe County also participated in the collection of donated relief grain. All localities are opening granaries to help the disaster area, but as long as the floods are not eliminated, the people of Shuanhe will not have peace. Qinghe County has never had a flood. At most, there were only landslides and river dam bursts, and the consequences were not serious. I realize today that I have never known how to be prepared for danger in a stable place like this. If it weren't for Wan's words, which enlightened me, I would probably still be trapped in poetry, songs, and romance. As Wan said, even if the topic of the palace examination is not this flood control strategy, if I become a scholar in the future, I should study the flood control strategy to share the worries of the emperor and the people. Su Jing's mind is really fast. He is not an old-fashioned scholar who can only read books. He knows how to adapt and accept and adopt suggestions from others. If he becomes an official in the future, the people will only need officials like him who listen to advice, and not those superiors who only act on their own and are stubborn. It's right for you to think so, brother. So, we still have to look at the real world and not confine ourselves to a corner. Su Wan was glad that her brother was easy to deal with. If he was a bit stubborn, he wouldn't be able to change his mind so quickly. Don't worry, Wan, after a reminder, I will look for more books about flood control. The flood in Shuanha River has been a chronic disease for many years. There are many ancestors who went there to explore the way, and they always left some useful records.
Shuhing Shalem Librami Shuwan.
He was right. There were many officials who went to Shuanha River to control floods in all dynasties, and they always left some useful information. I believe in my brother. Su-won achieved her goal and smiled brightly. However, Su-jing's doubts also came immediately. 1-1. How do you know all this and understand so much? Su-won heard this, and the smile on her face almost fell. She didn't think of the right words, and her lips stammered a few times, hesitatingly making up an excuse. I heard a table of tea drinkers talking about this at the market today, and I thought of these hidden dangers, and I felt uneasy. So I hurried to remind you, brother, that the spring examination will be after the new year, and there is not much time left for you to prepare. Moreover, I have been in the Gu family for more than 10 years. Master Gu traveled all over the country to do business, and he saw and heard a wide range of things. When he came back from business, he would often talk about these political and practical affairs, so I listened to a lot, so I naturally understood more. Her words were flawless, and Su Jing did not doubt it at all after listening to it, but nodded approvingly. Sure enough, children raised in wealthy families have broad horizons and knowledge. I have to admit this, so I need to work harder in the future to fight for a bright future for myself, and let my descendants all be knowledgeable people. Although Su Jing hated the arrogance and contempt of those rich people, he had to admit that they knew more than you. It's great that Big Brother has such an idea. Hee. After Su-won was smart, she laughed a little silly. She silently comforted herself in her heart. Fortunately, she was smart and fooled it. If people knew that you have the ability to predict, you will be regarded as a witch and dragged to sacrifice to the sky, right? 1-1. What are your insights on flood control? Su Jing started to get excited about this fact, and actually pulled Su-won to talk. Su-won was also happy to tell him everything she knew. I think we should encourage afforestation in the Shuanha River Basin. Trees and vegetation can effectively block some silt and alleviate the problem of silt coverage in the lower river basin. It is also necessary to build more dams. On this basis, we must widen and deepen the riverbed, which is also a way to contain floods. Or we can dig canals to divert water and connect the water source to some areas with less precipitation, which can also effectively prevent and control droughts, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. However, this project is huge and consumes a lot of manpower and material resources. It cannot be completed overnight, and it is a bit costly. There is also post-disaster reconstruction, which can adopt the method of work for relief, integrating soldiers and civilians. In this way, the victims can also participate in post-disaster reconstruction, exchange labor for food, and speed up the reconstruction progress. Wow, Su-won understood a lot, almost everything. Su Jing felt that he didn't even need to look up any classics. Just listening to what she said made sense. All the methods she proposed are feasible, much more useful than just filling up the dam. At least they can improve the local situation. Su Jing's face was full of surprise, and the look in his eyes when he looked at Su-won was both exciting and incredible. Brother, why are you looking at me like that?
Shuwan felt guilty.
1-1, you are so awesome. If you were a man, what would we have to do? Su Jing almost regarded his sister as an object of worship. But fortunately, she didn't question her. Su-won thought to herself, otherwise she wouldn't know how to explain that these knowledge and ideas could not be found in books. However, she also understood these by virtue of her convenience in the future and the development of the internet, and it had nothing to do with whether she was smart or not. There's no way, brother, I'm a girl. She deliberately made a joke to make Su Jing laugh. It has been half an hour since she came in, and the 2 brothers are still waiting outside. She should leave after completing her task. Brother, there is one last thing. What is it? After this, Su Jing has taken everything Su-won said very seriously. That's right, my 4th brother and I have discussed going to the state capital to sell shikima before the New Year's Day, and by the way, take a look at the state capital's New Year's Day Lantern Festival. We haven't seen it yet, so we want to see the world. Can you come with us at that time? It's just that my brother is about to take the exam, and he must have overworked his brain, so he should relax. Soo-won wanted to invite Soo-jing to the New Year's Day Lantern Festival. It would be the New Year in less than half a month after the New Year. She wanted to think of a way to keep her brother until the New Year and prevent him from returning to the academy. In this way, Zhao Xiyun and the others would not be able to succeed in their evil plan. However, she had to use some self-torture tactics. Otherwise, what if she couldn't keep her brother? She couldn't tell the truth because no one would believe it. Why do you suddenly want to go to the Lantern Festival? Will my parents agree? Soo-jing is worthy of being a brother to Soo-yun, and he said exactly the same thing. Fourth brother wants to go. Fifth brother also wants to go. We all want to go, but the key is that we have never seen the world and want to join in the fun. In addition, a few days before the Lantern Festival, there will definitely be many people from nearby counties and towns going to the provincial capital to watch the Lantern Festival. With such a good opportunity, of course we have to make a fortune. Watching the Lantern Festival is secondary, and making money is also secondary. The main thing is to coax the eldest brother out of the academy. At the same time, Soo-yi, who was sitting at home, sneezed suddenly. Jong-yu, who was painting with him, asked him if he had caught a cold. Soo-yi shook his head and said that it was just his nose that was a little itchy. He never said that he wanted to go to the Lantern Festival. Of course, he thought about it in his heart. But the closer it is to the exam, the more I should not waste any time preparing for the exam. How can it be considered a waste of time? It's not a waste of time to go out and see the world. The knowledge in books is too rigid. Everything you see is learning. Brother, believe me, this trip will be worthwhile. Soo-won was determined to pull him along, shaking his arm and begging him, as if she was acting like a spoiled child. Soo-jing couldn't stand her coquetry, smiled dotingly, and tapped her forehead with his fingertips. I really can't do anything about you. Can I promise you? Keep your word, big brother. Please ask for leave from the academy in advance and come back 3 days in advance, okay? Remember to bring the books you want to read and the pen, ink, paper, and inkstone, so you can read at home. Soo-won's words were full of routines, but Soo-jing saw that his sister had a filter and didn't doubt it at all. Okay, I'll listen to you. Then you are not allowed to regret it. If big brother regrets it, I will be angry. Soo-won deliberately frowned and made the consequences sound very serious. Soo-jing was amused by her. His sister was the cutest. Finally, Soo-won left the academy contentedly. The two brothers squatted at the gate of the academy and waited for more than half an hour. It felt like they were going to grow beards. The first time Soo-yun saw her, he complained, "Soo-won, aunt, you are finally back. If you don't come again, my grave will be overgrown with grass." Nonsense, fourth brother. Don't say such unlucky things. It's not appropriate for a young man to say that grass grows on the grave. Soo-won made a gesture to silence him. What did you talk to your eldest brother? You talked for so long. Soo-chin didn't have such a big grudge. Nothing, just a few words of family matters. She didn't tell them what she said one by one. A few words of family matters can take half an hour to talk. Soo-yun didn't believe it. My elder brother also took me to visit the academy, so we were delayed for a while. Now Soo-won doesn't even draft her lies. She has become the person she hates after all. However, she is telling white lies, and she began to attack herself.
Okay. Soo-yun matter.
Both brothers carried a lot of things. Only Soo-won had nothing. On the way, he went to Grandma Kai's house to buy 2 chickens and paid extra to buy an old hen that no longer laid eggs, ready to wait for Sue's mother to come back so that she could stew it for her to replenish her body. When he came back, Jong-yu and Soo-yi were still painting. He was also bored at home, so Soo-yi asked Jong-yu if he could paint. Jong-yu said he knew a little bit, so the two began to compete. They also agreed to paint the same content. Soo-yi suggested painting Soo-won, and Jong-yu also had the same idea, so the two began to paint tacitly. Soo-yi was too focused and didn't notice that Soo-won had come back and was standing behind him silently. Seeing the people in their paintings, she couldn't help but feel a little nervous because they were all painting themselves. Jong-yu had finished and was quite satisfied with his own pace. The Soo-won he painted was in a posture of looking up at the sky with a faint smile on her face. At first glance, the painting was quite vivid, but when you look at Su Yi's, you can immediately see the difference. Su Wan in Su Yi's painting was a figure with her back to the painting, her face turned around, revealing 60% of her features, still smiling, but he even painted the dimples at the corners of her mouth to show her expression. Su Wan had bought him a fine brush for drawing before, and he painted those details vividly. Even the hair was so real. The eyelashes were clearly visible and very vivid. If Jiangyu's Su Wan was only 50% like, then the Su Wan in his painting was 90%, as if she was coming alive from the painting. Su Wan was about to say something, but Jiangyu made a gesture to silence her, indicating that Su Yi was very focused at the moment and she should not be disturbed. Su Wan immediately shut up. Su Chun and Su Yan came over and were also stunned by the painting. They tacitly agreed not to disturb him. He looked up and found that his neck was numb. Su Wan was standing behind him, watching him paint. Su Yi's face turned red, and he was about to block the painting, but was stopped by Su Wan. "Fifth brother, you are so great. I like this painting so much. Can you give it to me?" Su Wan loved this portrait very much. Whether it was the style of painting or the woman in the painting, she liked it very much. Instantly, she felt that she was sublimated and became taller and more noble. "You like it? But I feel it's not well painted." It was unexpected that Su Wan liked him, but he was too demanding of himself. "Is this not well painted? Fifth brother, are you going to be a god?" Su Wan thought. Are these artists so cruel to themselves? Su Yi blushed and was embarrassed to answer. "Fifth brother, I think you are only one opportunity away from success. Once the opportunity comes, you will be so popular that nothing can stop you." In the original novel, Fifth Brother was appreciated by a great scholar in the literary world in his later years. He took his paintings and publicized them everywhere. Finally, his paintings were passed to the emperor. The emperor, who loved these paintings, stamped them with a seal when he was happy. Fifth Brother became famous. Since then, he has spoken with his strength and quickly entered the literary world. He has a high status in the literary world. He is known as the youngest scholar in history and has the reputation of a painting fairy. Poetry, songs, music, chess, calligraphy, and painting have been elegant things since ancient times. Those who have attainments in this area are collectively called scholars. Sister Wanwan, what you said is too exaggerated. I dare not accept it. I have no teacher and no power. How can I encounter any opportunities?
Suyu simillet bitterli.
He was still too pessimistic. Brother Wu, relax. Gold shines wherever it is placed. You are still young, and opportunities are reserved for young people. I think Su Wan is right, Su Yi. Your talent in painting should not be underestimated. When I compare paintings with you, I am just an ordinary stone in front of you, dull and dull, while you are now a pearl covered in dust, waiting for the right person to find you and shine. Jiang Yu never bowed his head to anyone, but he lost convincingly. Su Yi heard this and took a look at his paintings. Okay, according to his standards, it is indeed not pleasing to the eye, but he smiled and said nothing. He is also very proud. Jiang Yu looked at Su Yi's slightly disgusted expression, raised his eyebrows, and disagreed. I said, I am just a little bit proficient. It doesn't matter if you are compared. It is not difficult to admit that others are better than you. Everyone has their own strengths. Su Wan couldn't put down the paintings of the fifth brother, just like getting a photo in modern times, and the person is very satisfied. Jiang Yu felt a little sour, looking at his portrait painting that no one wanted, and quietly put it away. Seeing this, Su Wan moved the paintings to her side. Don't throw it away. I'll keep this one too. They're all paintings of me, and this is the first time I've been painted by someone, so it's very worthwhile to collect. Su Wan blew the paint on the two paintings completely dry, and then stacked them neatly. At that moment, Jiang Yu was comforted. Although she liked the paintings of her by her fifth brother more, it was good enough that she was willing to accept it with all her might. Come on, fifth brother, I believe in you. Su Wan raised a very bright smile to Su Yi, which instantly calmed Su Yi's still somewhat erratic heart. Not bad. Fifth brother, I didn't expect you to be so good. Soo-yun looked at his twin brothers with such admiration for the first time. In order to welcome Sue's father and mother home, the brothers and sisters made preparations early. They got up early in the morning to boil water, kill chickens, and cut fish. Soo-yun also had to make braised pork for his parents to taste. His braised pork won praise from all the staff, and I believe that Sue's father will also like it very much. The couple came back the next afternoon. Soo-chun was specially sent by Soo-won to pick them up halfway. His parents had been working in the mine for several years, carrying large and small bags back. They were a little tired after walking for a long time. Soo-chun took the warm water and shikima prepared by Soo-won to fill their stomachs and quench their thirst. Seeing her son waiting for her, Sue's mother felt warm in her heart. Perhaps this is the benefit of having many children. Aiken, why are you here? Mom, Won asked me to pick you up. She and the fourth and fifth children have prepared meals at home and are waiting for you. This is the water and food prepared by Won. Soo-chun never took credit for himself. He also wanted his parents to know more about Won. Let them know that their biological daughter is also filial. Won is really thoughtful. It's all because of my daughter's thoughtfulness. It's true. Sue's mother was very pleased. To say something from the bottom of her heart, Yaya is not as thoughtful as Won. Yes, Won knew you were going home, so she bought chickens, fish, and meat, hoping to have a good meal when you came back. She also cut cloth into cotton for Dad and Mom so that they could make new winter clothes for the new year. Soo-chun wanted to tell all the good things about Soo-won. When Sue's father and mother heard about their daughter's behavior, they didn't know what they felt in their hearts. Now that they thought about it, they were indebted after all, and they should try their best to make up for the lack of family affection between them after they returned. Sue's mother's eyes were filled with tears. Thinking back to the past, all the truth came so suddenly that she didn't know how to face it. Facing the return of her own daughter, she was afraid that she would look down on the conditions of the family, afraid of being blamed, and eager to escape. Mom, don't cry. I will tell you about the recent situation at home. Along the way, Soo-chun told his parents about what happened recently at home, including the fact that Soo-yun earned nearly 100 taels of silver by selling shikima. There was also the fact that Jeong-yu was still staying at home. Before going to the mine, he had briefly told Soo-won and Soo-moo about saving people, so as to remind them to be polite to them when they returned home. After all, they had spent money to continue living in the Soo family, and they always helped them on weekdays. Now they were good friends, so they should treat them with courtesy. Sue's father and mother were both hospitable and polite people, and they understood this truth. Back in the village, there was smoke coming out of their yard, and Soo-won stood at the end of the path and waved at them from a distance. She also had parents and brothers, and she would not be lonely anymore. Dad, Mom, welcome home. Soo-won called them sweetly after approaching. Sue's father and mother quickly agreed. Sue's father came forward and looked his daughter up and down. As expected of his daughter, she was born beautiful, and it was a great honor for her as a father. Good child, you have been tired at home, and you look thinner. In fact, Soo-won was not thin, but in the eyes of the elders, she was thinner after not seeing her for a long time. I'm not tired. My brothers are doing everything. I'm just doing odd jobs. She gave some advice. Now Soo-yun is the one who takes the brunt of the work. With enough manpower, she doesn't have to do anything herself, such as making shakima or cooking. She just needs to move her mouth. Mother Soo stepped forward and held Soo-won's hand in her palm. She looked at her with a loving face. She was wearing a newly made floral dress with lavender flowers, which was very playful. She tied a simple braid, but it couldn't hide her temperament. A good-looking person would look good even in a sack. It's cold outside. Let's go home and talk, kid. Facing the intimacy of Mother Soo and Father Soo, Soo-won didn't react. She looked at her third brother, who nodded and smiled at her, meaning to let her feel at ease. She had never been treated like this by her elders before. She had the urge to cry. Since she was sensible, she had only faced various inexplicable scoldings from her aunt and her uncle's indifference. If she doesn't learn to be optimistic, she might just trap herself in a cage, become paranoid, and become depressed. Sue's mother took her home, and Soo Yun and Soo Yi ran out when they heard the sound. Soo Yun was still wearing an apron, holding a spatula with a wooden handle. Mom and Dad are back, and we can have dinner soon. Today is New Year's Day, and there are chicken, fish, and meat. After greeting, thinking about the braised pork in the pot, he hurried back to the kitchen. Soo Yi also called Mom and Dad obediently and took the initiative to take their bags. Jiangyu wore a lavender robe with round patterns today, and his high ponytail was also very exquisite. He really loves purple, and this color also represents elegance and dignity. It is said that if you want to be pretty, you must be in filial piety, and a high ponytail is the best dowry for a man. He came over and performed a very formal etiquette for Sue's father and mother. Ask Uncle Sue and Aunt Sue how they are. I am here to be polite. Sue's mother had never seen such a scene before. They were common people and seldom had the chance to deal with such people. The third son said that Jiangyu was the son of a wealthy family, so it was normal for him to be well-mannered. However, they were really amazed by Jiangyu's appearance and demeanor, which was also extraordinary. Don't be so reserved, just be casual, Mr. Jiang. Jiangyu was not reserved, but Sue's father and mother were very reserved, especially in their own home. Uncle and aunt are too formal, just call me Jiangyu. I am good friends with several brothers of the Su family, and also good friends with Wan, and I have to bother you for a while, so uncle and aunt should just be casual, and don't be bound by red tape. Hey, okay, Mr. Jiang, please go in and sit down. Although she said it was casual, Sue's mother was actually a little reserved and looked a little at a loss. Okay, Mom and Dad, please go in. Soo-won hooked Sue's mother's hand and led her into the house. Her and Sue's father's rooms were very clean, and the bedding was changed to clean ones. On the bed in the room were the new cloth and cotton that Soo-won bought for them. Mom and Dad, I don't know your specific sizes, so I didn't ask anyone to make them for you, but the fifth brother said that Mom can make clothes by herself, so I only bought the cloth and cotton. Soo-won explained it to them clearly. Good child. It's good that you have this intention. Mom likes it very much. Sue's mother looked at the cloth her daughter bought, which was very much in line with her taste, and her heart couldn't help but feel a little warmer. Get ready for dinner, Mom and Dad. You must be tired after walking all day. The fifth brother Soo-yi came in and called them, and the mother and daughter put down their things and went to the main house to eat. On the table, Soo-yun stewed old hen soup with braised pork, braised fish, fried tofu, stir-fried cabbage, and pickled radish from the jar to go with the rice. After sitting down, Soo-yun first poured a bowl of chicken soup for his parents, and Soo-won picked up a chicken leg for each of them. Sue's mother passed the chicken leg to Soo-won and asked her to eat it. Chicken legs are for you children. We are all adults, so we won't eat them. Mom, we are not children anymore. Today you and Dad are the protagonists. You have worked hard. Stay at home and rest in the future. You don't have to worry about making money to support the family. Soo-won returned the chicken leg to her and smiled at her sincerely. Sue's mother and father looked at each other, then nodded, and smiled with relief at seeing that the children were so sensible. Now it can be said that the hardship has paid off, and the children are more obedient than each other. Okay, today your father and I will also be children. They were not shy and ate the chicken legs with chicken soup and did not forget to greet Jiangyu. Jiangyu, the conditions in the countryside are only like this. You should make do with it and eat more. Father Sue is a hospitable person. He is more casual than Mother Sue. Yes, thank you Uncle Sue for your concern. He kept thanking them and using honorifics, which made Soo-won and the others a little uncomfortable. Although he was quite polite at first when his condition had just improved, after getting along for a long time, he became close to the brothers of the Soo family and was very casual in the past. This meal, they could eat meat and rice without restraint, which was a very rare meal for Sue's father and mother. Moreover, the taste of this dish was particularly good, especially the braised pork, which looked red and black, but tasted surprisingly delicious. Fourth brother, what did you use to fry this meat? Why is it this color? Sue's father said, and put another mouthful of braised pork in his mouth, which was very satisfying. I made the sauce myself. How about it, Dad? Is it delicious? Soo-yun thought to himself, you finally found the difference. What sauce? Sue's mother looked curious. It's soy sauce, which can be used to adjust the color and season the dishes. Thanks to Soo-won's suggestion. Otherwise I can't make it. Soo-yun smiled like a fool. He glanced at Soo-won and raised his eyebrows at her, meaning to thank her. It feels much better than before, and the taste is richer. It's you kids who are good at thinking and having wild ideas. We, as parents, are already old. Sue's mother really sighed. It felt like many things had changed after not being home for a while. Life had gotten better in just a few months, and it was all related to her biological daughter, who had just been found. Parents are not old, they are still very young.
Soo-won was honest.
She was not old in her early 40s. She was very young from her perspective as a modern person. Won-won was used to comforting us. Sue's mother gave her a scolding look. She sat between her parents, and both sides kept picking up food for her. She had never thought of being surrounded by her family. The family sat idly, the lights were friendly, and their eyes were all on her. She could finally understand Guyu's feelings. If it were her, she would also become jealous, right? Even if they are not her relatives, but the attention and love that belonged to her in the past have been transferred, she still feels a sense of loss, but the only difference is that she will not be and take the initiative to seek a sense of existence. People are like this, they want a lot, but it is difficult to have both in the world. What you get, you are destined to lose. She lost wealth, but gained more precious family affection. When Guyu returned to her position, she had to give up these pure feelings. The Gu family pays more attention to blood ties and rules. The surface is bright and beautiful, but in fact, as people drink water, they know the cold and warm. After dinner, Soo-yun and his friends boiled water for Sue's father and mother to bathe. Soo-won gave Sue's mother the money she had saved in the past few months, including the money earned by her fourth brother from Shikima. She would explain to her the purpose of the money, let her classify it, and ask her for it when needed. This 55 taels is what I saved from selling soap. I gave it to Mother. If there are any unpaid debts at home, or if we need to buy firewood, rice, oil, and salt on weekdays, Mother can do it herself.
Just take it from here.
This 80 taels is the capital saved by my fourth brother from doing business. Mother also helps him to keep it. This silver cannot be touched casually. The expenses for buying raw materials in the future, as well as the wages paid to me and my third and fifth brothers, will all be taken from it. Mother just needs to keep a clear account. There is also this 100 taels of silver notes, which are the medical fees and medicine fees given by Jongyu to us, as well as the food and lodging money we have borrowed from our home during this period. It is prepared for my eldest brother to use on the way to the exam. It cannot be touched. Looking at so much money, except for the 55 taels of broken silver given by Soo-won in a cloth bag, the money Soo-yun earned from selling Shikima is all scattered copper coins, which have not been exchanged for silver and silver notes in time. The main reason is that I don't have time to go, and the money shop only accepts the elders in the family to exchange. They are still children, and others are unwilling to receive them for fear of disputes. Mother Sue had never seen so much cash at once in her life. She was scared to put it on the table. Oh, how could you take it out so openly? You have to be careful not to let people miss it. Mother Sue quickly packed it up. However, she returned the 55 taels that Soo-won gave her. Child, you should keep the money you earned yourself and save it as your own money. We can't take it from you. Your third brother told us that your father was careless and missed a big debt. You helped to pay it off. We are already very sorry. How can we take your money? Besides, since the family is much better now, Master Jiang has given him money to repay his gratitude, and your eldest brother has money for the exam. Your father and I have saved dozens of taels of silver for him. We will pay off the family's debts, and we can't take your money. Sue's mother can't take it. She didn't do anything. How can she be embarrassed? I will help your fourth brother keep his money. He is careless and I am worried, but you are calm and steady. We are very confident. You are a person with ideas. Mother knows. To be honest, she and Nia have been mother and daughter for more than 10 years, but she dare not say that she is absolutely confident in her. However, she has been with Soo-won for a short time. Just from the things she has done, she knows that she is a person with ideas and plans. She is much more careful than Yeya. This has to be admitted. Mother, I want you to keep it for me, and I still have money. It is the wages paid by the fourth brother. In modern times, if Soo-won had a mother by her side since childhood, she would definitely be a mama's girl. The little girl pulled her arm and acted coquettishly. The feeling was completely different from Guyu. She was so delicate and soft that she couldn't bear to refuse. Then mother will help you keep it and won't touch a penny of yours. Sue's mother softened her heart and turned around and agreed. Thank you, mother. Soo-won hugged her arm and rested his head on her shoulder. After all, it was blood relationship. Her soul was in Soo-won, and she could not ignore the intimacy. As soon as Sue's father entered the door, he saw such a warm scene. He originally thought that he must have a sense of distance from his daughter after just returning. He was afraid that his daughter would not be close to them. Now it seems that he thought too much. It was Soo-won's own initiative that narrowed the distance. At night, after Sue's father and mother washed up and lay on the bed, Sue's mother discussed with Sue's father about the silver Soo-won gave her. We will not touch the silver earned by the children themselves. Won-won's silver will be kept for her as a dowry. In the past few years, we have saved more than 30 taels of silver for a Jing, which is far from enough for him to take the exam. Now there is a silver note given by Mr. Jung, so there is no need to worry for the time being. Tomorrow, you find a time to pay off the last 15 taels owed by the village chief's family, as well as the 3 taels of the old Zhao family and the 2 taels of the old Chen family. Pay them all back, and you will have peace in the future. Sue's mother made calculations and made her thoughts clear to her husband. Father Sue nodded in approval. The idea of giving money to the 4th child was from Won-won. You should take some money out and add it to her money. She is old enough and will be engaged in 2 years. Save more dowry so that she can be strong in her husband's family in the future. We are unable to do anything for her, but she is always thinking about us. She is the lucky star of our family. Things have gradually become better since she came. We should treat her the same way we treated Yeya before, or even better. Father Sue is a taciturn person. He doesn't say nice words, but a father's love is deep. I know, don't worry. Mother Sue understands these principles. I still remember that day. Madame Gu and Master Gu suddenly came to the door with their concubine, and they were aggressive. The concubine was beaten black and blue, and her hair was pulled out in several patches, which was scary. She admitted that it was the year when Sue's mother worked as a maid in the kitchen of the Gu family. Soo-young was just 9 months pregnant and was about to give birth. She was in a hurry and gave birth to a baby girl in the servant's room before she had time to return home. It was supposed to be about 9.5 to 10 months. At that time, she fainted from the pain after giving birth and didn't have time to see the child, so the concubine bribed a few servants and exchanged the 2 children without anyone noticing. The reason for her premature birth was that she was deceived into drinking the oxytocin and deliberately gave birth on the same day as Madame Gu. Even if it was her son, he would have been taken away. The concubine wanted to take revenge on Madame Gu. It would be best if an outsider inherited the Gu family property. The Gu family, which always values blood, would definitely be angry to death in the end, right? That day, Madame Gu cried and fainted while holding Yeya. She was in a hurry to go back and deal with the concubine. She was afraid of scaring the child, so she didn't take her away that day, but sent someone to pick her up the next day. It took only 1 night from the incident to Yeya being taken away. The next day, their biological daughter came back. The family really didn't react, which is why they were at a loss and unfamiliar at the beginning. The next morning, Sue's mother got up early and cooked for the children. Sue's father looked at the chickens, rabbits, and a little puppy in the yard and felt that life at home was becoming more and more lively. He looked at these livestock and felt very happy. He fed them and teased the chickens with a cluck in his mouth. The chicks have grown a lot after eating the husks. The rabbits should be about to give birth, and they are fed with vegetable leaves every day. Soo-won saw this scene when she woke up. There was already smoke coming out of the kitchen. Won-won, Why don't you sleep a little longer? Father Su smiled at her. She had just gotten up, her hair was still loose, and she was not yet awake. Mother Su came out of the kitchen upon hearing the sound and looked at Su Wan and waved to her. Wan, come here. Mother will comb your hair. Su Wan was stunned, but still walked over obediently. Mother Su asked her to sit on the chair and then took a comb to comb her hair. She didn't know where in her hand a few red hairbands appeared, and she braided a complicated braid for her hair on the top of her head. Su Wan, who had never had any decoration on her head, looked even brighter and more beautiful with this bright red embellishment. It was also braiding hair, but Mother Su's hands were very skillful and her movements were gentle. Finally, she took a bronze mirror to show her. Su Wan looked at it, and it was indeed much more delicate and beautiful than what she had done herself. There were some more elements and a small bun on her head. Finally, she braided 2 braids and hung them on her shoulders, which was gentle and playful. Thank you, Mother. Mother Su looked at her and thought to herself that she had someone to help her comb her hair for more than 10 years. I remember that on the day she just came back, her hair was combed very delicately and beautifully. In the future, she will comb her hair every day. My Wan is so pretty. In the future, Mother will do your hair every day, okay? Su Wan's nose was sour instantly. What should I do? When did she become so